Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon. I am Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master for this evening and most evenings, and joining me are my friends Matt, Olive,
Surprise.
Hannah, Kara, and Alana. Olive is joining us as Tina, unfortunately, is not able to join us this evening. So we will work Olive's character in a little bit. Before we get started with D&D, a couple of announcements. I forgot to open all of my documents.
It's a good announcement.
Yeah, I know. That's the first announcement. Second announcement is we have a website, alberonrpg.com. There's information about both of our campaigns. This one, Courts of Everest, as well as our Starfinder campaign, which is every Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. We also have social media accounts, which have much closer pictures of our various maps. At the moment, the only battlefield is just this wasted husk of an Oreo.
And some pomegranate seeds.
We defeated that for sure. Oh, yeah. But there are maps that do occasionally pop up there, and to see them in a little bit more detail, at AlberonRPG on Instagram, on Twitter, on all those things. And then I think that's all of the announcements I have, aside from the fact that for sound effects and things of that nature, we use Sirenscape, digital tool set that you can use to have this like jungle music that's going on in the background. That's what it's called. But we're going to put that off, Sirenscape, another digital tool set. And we'll go to our theme song.
Talon's already got jokes and we haven't even started.
Oh, hi Talon, hi Gunner. Okay. And please let us know how our audio is, because we had some trouble last night, but I think we figured it out.
We turned it off and on again.
You know what? It works. And it did work. Adventurers. Last we played, you slept. Camping as a group for the first time. And as a result, did not post a watch. All kind of assuming that the other would do it. Ori, you were semi-conscious.
That was cool.
Very clearly semi-conscious, not sleeping. For 4 hours a night in a trance state were you semi-conscious. And as a result, you were able to observe, but chose not to prevent, a goblin ambush. Ori, Cheshire, Billy, and Minka found themselves swarmed by tiny goblin arrows, huge wolves, and thrown bottles of fireflies that caused actual fire. Ori and Minka were both brutalized, but you all still managed to come out on top.
Welcome to Alberon.
After this battle, you managed to complete your long rest, a little bit slower than you had intended. Alina, you taking first watch after the first attempt at sleeping, were able to meet Hearsome in the morning. Your patron, the satyr, was annoyed at the delay and decided to skip the trip and meet you at the spire. After 4 hours of semi-consciousness while meditating, or you took the second watch until everybody find their way to the first successful long rest of the campaign.
We did it.
You had an uneventful walk back to the Grung's house, who you finally learned was named Yuppel. Ori, you encouraged Yuppel to join your group and to pack everything he owns because you were never coming back.
Was it literally?
As he began to roll up his fence, you all rode away without him. You met with Hearsome about an hour out of the spire, and he used travel through plants to get you the remainder of the way to the entrance of this city of Emerald. You walked down the warm and welcome way, and Hearsome dropped you off with Crispy the Gnome, who tried to get you to play a drinking game against him. But as you turn now to the gleaming emerald underchamber of the spire, lit softly with warm lilac lanterns that hang magically at each intersection, you stand just outside the Wincing Manticore, this tavern that has a poorly painted manticore that was probably supposed to be fierce, although looks to be kind of like uncomfortable. And at this point, you know that you have 2 hours, before which you are to meet Hearsome and the administrator of the entire city at the local Lexagi barracks. So, adventurers, what would you all like to do? Pull up some more appropriate sound effects and Sirenscape digital tool set for DMs.
Well, Hearsome was not impressed with our
We're going
appearance.
shopping!
So he made it super clear, like multiple times, that we need to clean ourselves up and put different clothes on.
You look like schmucks. Go get cleaned up.
Yeah, basically.
Alina, I don't know what you mean.
No. That's fine. My name is Alina now.
That's so funny.
So, shopping first or clean up first?
I'm going to clean up first.
Okay. So you can turn around and enter it, and you can see this little tiny gnome just kind of stands aside and allows you to pass. You can go up the stairs, which are wooden here, although the walls themselves, a opaque emerald. Almost, it looks like stone. It's so dark. And carved to look like brick, although there is no mortar. It's just one organic kind of crystal. But going up the steps, there are several rooms, 2 of which are open. And you can see Crispy has dragged exactly one of your bags up. He's very small and very old. But up there is a small bathroom that is at the end of the hall between the 4 rooms that you can see. And there is a sort of like heated claw-footed tub. And you can take a bath if you wish.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. Laura shuts the door, and the bathroom upstairs is unavailable. For the rest of you.
One?
There's one downstairs, but it is not. It is a half bath. It's a toilet, and there is in the Emerald Spire plumbing, as there would have to be in a vertical structure like this. I mean, there doesn't have to be, but it is. It's a clean city.
Should have looked down.
Okay, well, while Ori gets freshened up, we can go to the shop,
quick.
and then by the time we get back, he'll probably be done, and then we can kind of sort out that situation.
Really fast.
Alina like bangs on the door, is like, do you want us to wait or
Just a minute.
oh
You hear like a splash, splash, and then like splash, 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 splash. It's like a lot of noise coming from here.
3
But-
hours later.
oh, we only have 2 hours.
It's like 3 minutes. Ori comes out. Like clothes probably still pretty wet because like it was a quick dry, but more presentable.
Yeah. Now we're going to go get clothes to be even more presentable.
There you go. So Ori emerges.
Right. Anyone else?
Billy kind of like
Before-
pushes the 2 aside, like, yeah. Just goes inside.
No problem.
Does a quick TPA.
Okay. No problem. You take a little like cat shower. As you were doing that, or are you just going without everybody else?
Anyone need to go buy clothes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we? Are you gonna go?
Is Billy coming?
Billy! Yeah, I just, give me 1 second, and Billy like finishes up.
So the 3 minutes pass, and Billy emerges. One entire combat later. Now, 2 of you clean. Are you guys all going out to get clothing, or?
I am definitely not that fast. So if we're gonna do
Let's-
clothing,
yeah,
let's do
go.
clothing now.
All right.
And then Alina's plan to get clean is to ask Cheshire to prestidigitate her clean because she knows that Cheshire knows that spell, as Tina confirmed via text earlier. So
This is true. So no problem. A much faster way to get clean.
yeah,
Look at you with
it's a
your
lot of
magic.
hair. It takes a long time to wash hair like Alina's, like big, bushy, curly. So
Yeah, and also you have fur on a lot of your body. And so
I
that's
do
like
have fur.
additional drying time.
yeah.
But no problem. So you do know, having been to the Emerald Spire before, that on this street, this main kind of street that does have a lot of shops, there is a place that you passed called Trebulet. And this was a place that you saw a tiefling working on some kind of garment outside of. That's probably the closest thing.
Cool. And of a nice enough quality that we would look presentable to the administrator?
Yeah, you'd imagine
Here's
so. You
some-
haven't been there before, but it looks nice enough.
All right. Looks nice. Shall we go down the street then? Get some clothing.
Yeah, let's go.
So the 4 of you make your way out and then to the left. You walk back in the direction that you came, towards the entrance. Is there anything that you guys are looking for as you're doing this?
I think he's gonna keep an eye out for like a jewelry shop.
Make a perception check.
Just looking for interesting things that I may have seen previously, or
13.
13.
Like a quick mad moment. I was like, oh god.
You hear a sound, the laughter of children. And you turn, and as you do, you see nearest the entrance, probably of most of the stores, there is a large shop that the entire front seems to have gleaming crystals, just hanging from strings. There are some that are kind of gathered in little bowls. There are kids gathered all around this shop, it would seem. You can see there is a sign outside, and it does read with little, it's lit by motes of magical colors, Crystal Crest. And I would say with a 13, that's kind of what you see.
That's great. As Minka looks at it, she kind of like subconsciously starts to like drift towards it, then like catches herself as like, no, focus.
I'm up for that later.
You make your way over, and you come to a place, this shop.
Here we are.
Called Trebulet. You can see the outside of it. There is like a small, almost 10 by 10 stone courtyard, and there is a table on which there was a tiefling that was darning some kind of a fabric.
Socks.
Sure. There are wooden steps that go up to a second level, and this is the same kind of opaque emerald that forms a lot of the building material in this level. There is a stone door that has been wedged into this frame, and through the almost translucent, almost clear, but just ever so slightly tinged green window of this place, you can see there are all kinds of fabrics, clothing, things like that. And this tiefling that you had seen now seems to be putting over a dress form, a very nice black tunic with these little gold fastenings on it. Very clean. There's no like ornate kind of patterns and things of that nature, but very nice clothing.
After you.
Clop.
You open the door. This tiefling turns around. Can I help you?
Yes, we are going to a very important meeting, and we need to look a little more presentable than we do. We're also on a little bit of a time crunch, if you'd be able to help us out.
Well, I think you look lovely, dear, but we have plenty of things. What are you looking for?
Something formal, right?
I'm just gonna look around.
Nice.
Do I see anything? Yes. Okay. Do I see anything that like more or less look like on a, hanging on a hanger or something that more or less looks like?
So there are four like distinct sections of clothing here. You see like relatively nice, but what would be considered common clothing, all very like kind of organized onto these several racks. You see a whole area that seems to be a little bit more colorful. And as you look at them, not bespoke, certainly. This is cheaper material than anything else. This is like costumes. And you can see like a fuzzy mane of maybe something like a lion. There is a section that is much finer. And this is kind of the area that would catch your eye. Everything here seems to have very nice fabric. You can see silks. You can see things that do have very delicate kind of embroidery that would kind of hint at elvish maybe, although you do see infernal designs here and there. That's kind of what catches your eye, and you can see that there is like a little price tag, and these these sets of clothing seem to be about 15 gold pieces each.
Oh, that's a bit too steep for my taste.
How about the stuff that looks
Have
like
a discount
plainer?
Rack anywhere?
Do you barter anything here, or is it just straight gold?
Well, we don't traditionally barter here, but I have a few things that are not quite up to the standards of the shop. I can bring them out if you wish.
Yes.
Might be.
Sure.
We're a bit tight on funds.
Very well. She kind of turns around and she opens up this little cabinet, and there are several hangers that have like, they all look nice. And as she pulls them out, you can see here and there's a button that's like a little too low. You can see there's like a really nice black velvet tunic, long sleeves, beautiful golden buttons. And as like the sleeves come out, one's like a little longer than the other. It's all stuff that's like a little off, but it's there. These are 5 silver pieces each.
Oh, that's okay.
So Minifig approaches and starts like looking through.
Alina's gonna take a chance and be like, Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. So we are meeting with Hersum. He kind of called us to the city, and we're hoping to impress. Any special?
Make a persuasion check and make an advantage. As you say, here's some. You can see the tiefling kind of straightens up a little bit.
30-20.
Okay. Almost subconsciously, you could see like the hand goes back, and she kind of like makes her hair a little bit nicer, and she says, "Oh, you must be in town for the dreadful business of the Sparklefeather Downs." Very well.
Is that the murder?
Yes.
Okay.
You, dear, where are you from?
Very far away, apparently.
Well, friends of Hearsome, of course. 2 silver pieces each. Just remind him where you got them.
Of course. And I'm just gonna look through the racks for something that fits me.
Really looks through for something that's like a little bit more tailored but functional.
Okay. And all of it is like certainly functional. The mistakes here are all relatively small and things that like with a little time could definitely be fixed.
No like robe dresses. Really want something.
How much
that
time do
moves.
we have?
You probably have like an hour and 30 minutes left.
If Alina had a
Something
watch,
nice.
she would be checking it
Yeah,
approximately
so,
every
like,
10 seconds.
Touch up the sleeve or something.
So without too much trouble, what I would say is each of you who is buying some clothing, roll a D100. And if you have any kind of benefit that helps you in terms of like buying things or merchant deals, please let me know because that might benefit you a little bit.
I have a lot of charisma, but I don't know how directly that
I think that
translates.
benefits you in terms of your modifiers.
84.
84, okay.
35.
Okay,
77.
okay.
33.
This works out great. So, Billy, for you, you find something that is almost perfect for you. You're looking for something relatively tailored, and so kind of it can be whatever you would imagine, relatively plain. The mistake here is as you're like, there's no mistake, this is perfect. And you put it on, what does it look like?
So probably fairly tailored breeches that like tuck into her boots. Like kind of clean and not pressed, but like a white shirt where you're like, this person is clean.
Okay, yeah.
And then a nicer jacket because the one she has is really dusty and
No
tattered.
problem. All of that is true, and it looks perfect. And as you pull it on, it's as if none of the like seams have been finished, and it is so itchy. But it looks great. There's nothing presentably wrong.
This is fine.
It's a better one, dear. I just haven't finished it, so
It's great. Thanks.
For you, Minka, you are from a place where the clothing is almost all handmade, and so seeing things here, there is precision like you've never really seen. So even the things that are a little bit uneven or asymmetrical, to you it looks almost like intentionality. And so like you can find pretty much whatever you would want to. What is it that you pick out?
So Minka would probably pick out a long, really flowy dress with like really long open sleeves.
Okay.
And just the most ridiculous like color she could find, either like a crazy pink or like a way too bright green, just something that is like probably a little bit wrong for her, but
Sure.
she just loves like the look of it.
Like flamingo pink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, flamingo. There's an L in that.
Yeah.
Flamingo pink. Yeah, absolutely. Like bright, almost like a boa. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
So it's
You find all of that, and I think that it looks, the way that you describe it, looks strong enough already for
Yeah.
stuff. So no problem. You can see she goes to say something, and she goes, For you, Alina, the garments that you find all very much designed for elves, for humans, there is nothing really satyr shaped. And so the best that you can kind of do is a shirt that has a basically 3/4 sleeve and a full sleeve. And so you can kind of like cuff them enough
Yeah.
all the way up
Yeah.
so that you have like a 1/4 sleeve shirt that matches. You'll have to figure something out in terms of pants, but no problem. Ori, for you, everything that is designed for your somebody of your height and kind of sinewy stature, all of it seems to be designed for somebody who is a little bit shorter. And as such, every single shirt is midriff bearing. However,
Rocking the crop top.
you can get anything that you can kind of think of as long as it is in crop top form.
How do you make a crop top look intentional?
I'm gonna
Court.
I'm gonna use my red wrap to hide that area.
So you
Bring it
find like a
around.
red tunic and you know, like matching clothing, and it's just
I'm gonna
a little
do
too short.
like a sky blue, baby blue tunic.
Okay, and you're doing like a cummerbund situation to cover your
No, it's
midriff?
gonna like, you know, wrap around and then go up over the shoulder and be like a little half cape thing.
No problem. So without any
the wrap
trouble,
dress.
all of you can mark off 2 silver.
I don't have any pants.
I would say, Elena, you can mark off 1 silver as you are getting half of an outfit.
Can I have a skirt or something?
Can I?
Come on.
Yeah, I would say you could find like a sweater.
Is there
or a
enough
shirt or
time
something.
for like a
It's 2
couple
silver.
alterations for?
You have about an hour and 20 minutes. It's up to
What?
you.
What can you do for her in an hour?
He said I could find a skirt. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I could make.
What could you do for all of us in an hour?
I could
Campfire.
probably pull some things together, but again, if you're short on funds, I don't think you can.
How much
afford
could you
that.
do with this? Give her 8 gold.
Well,
7 gold. Keep the 1 for food.
I could give one of you a very nice outfit.
She split it amongst us.
I could give all of you not very nice outfits.
Could you fix up the ones we've got a little
Yes, I
bit?
could do that.
Right.
I'm
It's
fine.
good.
Okay.
You sure? Can I get one of the gold back? Or you keep it. It says hit.
Thank you. When will you be by to pick this up?
As an hour. How long until we? So an hour 20 minutes.
Yes.
If we get these here in an hour, does that give us enough time to change and get to the meeting?
Yeah. It's like a 10-minute walk from
Okay,
here.
cool.
It's right. So this barracks, tallest structure here, so dead center because the road goes down and meets in the middle.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the easiest place to access, and probably for a law keeping group, that's kind of what you want.
So we'll come back in an hour.
Very well.
Mega goes up to the dressmaker and goes, okay, can I request what the alteration is?
It depends. Given the time.
Pockets?
Could you?
Oh, girl, yes.
I just see. I love like, as you can see, I love accessorizing, and sometimes I just find something that inspires me, and I just want to make sure I can grab it and have somewhere to put it without.
And sometimes, dear, it's nice not to wear everything all at once.
Thanks.
But they look so bare when they're not there.
I will make you many pockets, and maybe you can try. Less is more, sometimes.
Editing.
I'll take it into consideration.
She takes your bright flamingo pink boa kind of thing, and this other like almost like I'm imagining it as like lime green in color, like very clashy, and begins the process of putting pockets on them. But no problem. You guys can all come back and
Sweet.
pick this up on your way to visit Hearsome.
There you go. We're not. It's not a working lunch, is it? I should probably go get some food before.
I'm going to go take a bath.
And then Mega just starts walking back towards
You want
the
any,
Winston.
any food while I'm out?
I have some.
Go pick up some food.
I'm headed to the tavern if you want to come with.
Really? Don't get drunk yet. After.
Just a drink. We've got an hour. All right. Come. Let us go.
Who is leading this tavern?
I would probably know a tavern somewhere that we could go to within this distance.
Billy saw the stone man on
Yeah.
the way in.
You saw the stone, and I think that's probably the one that you would know.
This is why I kept the 1 gold.
So you walk kind of back the way that you came, and this is a 2-story structure that you had seen on the way in. There's no wall that faces the street, And so you can see there are just railings that separate the spiral staircase in the interior from being able to fall out onto the ground 2 stories below from the top.
Don't want to do that.
Both floors have tables, and there are people sitting at either. And then in the center of this spiral staircase, creating a tremendous traffic jam, the bar is in this little like offset from the staircase, 10 by 10 foot space. And you can see there is a Goliath taking up most of it.
Let's probably find a little spot to scooch in at the bar here. Shall we?
I'll be along. And Billy kind of scans the room and tries to look for somebody who's like deep in their cups because it's what, mid-afternoon?
All right. Oh,
Wait a second. There's 20 pages of notes because shopping episodes.
First
It's about
round's on
2:30 in
me
the afternoon.
then. I'll grab you
I got it. And Billy's just like, I'll be along.
Alina is gonna follow Billy because
You want-
we've been down this road before.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
you want anything? Just
No drinking for me until the job is done.
so we came to the tavern. We're not gonna drink.
We'll get something to go. Don't worry.
You
about
want
it.
a drink there?
I'm gonna
Oh,
take it
we're gonna
back.
take it back. Yeah. Is it? Oh,
So, yeah, scanning the room, looking for somebody deep in their
Make a
cups.
perception check.
well. Cheshire's gone too. So.
It's a 9.
A 9. With a 9, you look and, there are like 4 or 5 people up on the second floor right now. And the first floor is relatively empty. It's not super late in the day yet. And so, though there are many people around, it is the bar itself not super crowded. Give me 1 second here.
Sidle on up.
Okay. So, Ori, you're going up there?
Gonna go, grab, I guess, a single drink for
Okay.
myself and some food. Do they have food there?
You do not see any food on tables.
All right, guess I'm just having a quick drink.
No problem. So you walk up and entering into the building, quote unquote, it transitions from the emerald sort of walkways into wooden floors and then the bar itself made from organic emerald. So you go up the stairs and you can see it's all like kind of one material. And that in and of itself is a little disorienting. And so imagining like having to walk drunk down the staircase is, people probably fall here a lot.
Yeah.
But behind the bar, hunched into this 10 by 10 space, there is a Goliath. They are wearing kind of like a newsy cap across the big, bald, gray-skinned head. And it sits a little small, probably sized for like a regular elf or human. So it's a little small on this giant head.
Okay.
They're wearing a nice white shirt that is well stained, but has clearly been like attempts to wash it over time, and a black vest that is tied with some string tight. But as you approach, you can see they kind of nod to you. Welcome to the Stoneman. What can I get for you?
Got something a bit stronger than a beer, but not too strong. Gotta be
We just
somewhere.
do ales here, so
Just do ales.
you
All
don't
right.
want to go to the mixologist or...
No, that's fine. I'll just have an ale.
All right. What about your friends back there?
I guess just water or something. I don't know.
Hey! And he kind of like calls behind Ori. You want water?
No.
Just guess
Water?
Nothing,
No.
nothing then. I asked them if they wanted. They said no. I don't know.
What the fuck are you doing?
Just
You got a
we go to
tea
a
or
tavern. They
something?
don't ask for
Tea.
Yeah.
Do you see this place? What the fuck is all
gruesome.
this?
Hey, you
Alina's
get,
gonna go
I
up
just
and be
wanted
like,
Get out of here.
Oh, God.
no, you get tea. And you
No,
pour
you
some
don't
whiskey.
See, he
in.
like takes his arms
Ah.
off the bar and he just says, "People like you drive my business, and I
Ah, I just want-
already."
Just
So
wanted
go
an
ahead.
It's just ale.
He turns
I'm
around, he
walking out.
takes
I'm
a
like
little
this.
mug. He starts cleaning it. And he's like, "Sorry, this is a little strange for me."
Fine.
You don't go to a tavern asking for tea.
on the way out, Alina's gonna be like, listen, nobody likes a good drink more than me, and I promise you, after our meeting and once we're on our own time, your first round is on me, all right?
We're always on our own time.
For what it's worth, too, you guys probably have about 50 minutes left. You're kind of ticking by your shopping hours.
Well, now I'm just gonna go get something to eat, I'm gonna drown my feelings in a tasty treat.
To the bakery.
10 out of 10. So, I mean, you do know that the candy shop, Crystal Crest, which does not sell crystals, but does in fact sell candy,
Some rock candy.
is a place that also has an entire baked goods section, which is both sweet and savory.
Okay.
That is the closest place, and then the next closest place is pretty far. It's closer to a lot of the eating areas are in the
Probably go to
Facet
a
Ward.
closer place.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, you can go to Crystal Crest.
Gotta go get something to eat.
I'm a little tantrum over there.
People here are so stuffy.
Stuck with the gruesome, twosome.
So, Ori,
Usually, I'm a lot of fun.
you walk
Kinda
over.
tavern doesn't have
Are
tea.
either of the two of you going with Ori to this candy store?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So you just kind of do like the parent at the mall. You just wait over like, a bunch of benches.
Alina just doesn't want to get too far away.
Yeah, oh, totally.
because she when that hour is up, she wants to be like at
As
the
soon
door ready
as
to rock and roll.
I'm eyes off, I'm running.
As you go a little bit further down, you see this cluster of children around a small shop, and over it in the emerald sign lit with those magical motes, it says Crystal Crest. And within there are all manner of sweets. If you do move in past all these children, you can see there is an 8-foot-tall furball who is behind the counter of the space. He's wearing all greens and shades of green. And you can see he's just kind of like giving something to one of these kids and taking a little copper piece and tucking away in his pocket. He looks past the kind of laughing children and seeing adults who probably have more money, looks pretty excited. But he turns and just, to all of you, just kind of says, "Can I help any of you?"
So, looking for something savory. Some pastries.
Like a pork pie.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
How much is
I
that?
can do that. Just one piece of copper.
I was wanting.
Alina's gonna pay the man because she feels bad that Ori got kicked out of the bar.
Do you want anything as well?
Just pork pies for everyone, I think.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just
two of them.
2 pork pies.
Are we? Oh, right.
Turns around and you can see he opens up this stone, it's like a huge stone box. It's very much built like a bread box, and as he turns it down, there are like 8 or 9 of these little puff pastry kind of. They look almost like pot pies in stone tins. And he takes 2 of them out, and he bare hands them in these big, hairy furball cans, and they steam. They seem pretty warm. But he turns around and goes, "These are pretty warm, so be careful, all right?"
No. All right.
Hey, you look like you have delicate hands, so please be careful. There you go. And he kind of leans over and gives you one of these pies as well. Anything else?
That's good for me.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shopping episodes.
He goes back, and one of these little kids goes up and goes, "Hey, it's my turn!" And he goes, "All right," and starts to help this kid. You guys have maybe like 40 minutes left. Your time is ticking by. If you wish, we can absolutely fast forward.
Billy's just like headed back towards.
Eat food.
I think I would probably spend a good amount of that hour reveling in the fact that there's running water
Yeah.
and having like a really good soak, having a great time,
Yeah, no
but
problem.
is conscientious enough not to completely get lost in a bubble bath or something.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no problem. Nobody's ever done that in our campaign. The egg.
Not since the egg.
But yeah, no problem. You take a very nice leisurely bath. Everybody else took about 3 seconds in this really nice bathroom, and you take a little bit more time. There are a few little shampoos and things that are about half empty, definitely kind of for whoever wants to use them. And they're not super fancy, but for you, they're scented, they're bright colors. It's nice.
Nice.
The rest of you kind of take some time wandering around, just looking. But before too long, it is time to go back. You pick up your garments. You can change without any issue, and they have been adjusted.
Billy would have headed back to the tavern.
So the Wincing Manticore is technically an inn.
Okay. Would have headed back to the inn to like get like a belt and like shine up her ear cuff to like be a little bit more presentable and try to like organize the braid so it's not so.
Yeah, no problem. You can take some time to do that. No problem. So I would say you pick up your clothing.
Nice.
You can make your way over to the Lexagi barracks if you wish.
Yes. Did it.
We look all presentable now.
Shopping done.
Nice. I was expecting it to go on way longer.
Yeah, it only took 40 minutes. real time.
Some of that was introduction.
40 minutes. So long.
You make your way to the Lexagi barracks. This is the home base of the Lexagi 5th. There are jagged spines of cloudy emerald that emerge in rows from the circular building's exterior walls. This is a 3-story tall structure, one of the tallest structures in this space. It's almost the midway point between the two opposite facets of this avenue. The 2 thick wooden doors are open, and you can see within several leather-armored figures of the Emerald Spire's peacekeeping forces. These leathers dyed in dark green, studded armor with ornate black metal plates that are embedded in places in the chest, the back, the thighs. There's a huge central central table of circular onyx that is ringed with floating arcane glyphs and projects an image at this moment of the Sparkle Feather Downs. Ori, make a history check. And I think Billy, have you been to the Emerald Spire? Okay, so yeah.
History check.
There are a handful of figures that are gathered around what is essentially a magical holograph, including Hirsum, dressed in the brown robes, although now he also is wearing a cloak. And on it, you can see pinned a sort of sigil. But the cloak across him is a dark green cloak that seems to cast a heavier shadow than the rest of him. Next to him is an elf that wears a mantle of emerald-like pauldrons that hold, through intricate fastenings of silver, these strips of glimmering green fey silk that runs down his back and over his shoulders like a cloak of ribbons. He wears greaves of multicolored emeralds and sapphire crystals shaped like diamonds that overlap to form scales. And then at the hip there rests a rod of steel layered with veins of jade and tipped with an emerald prism. This individual, I think, Ori, you've probably met, but what did you roll for your history check?
18.
Okay. With an 18, you've seen this place before or maybe heard of it. This is Sparkle Feather Downs. It's a combination. There are times where it's used as a kind of gladiatory arena. It's been used for jousts. It's most commonly used for sparkle slug races, which are slower than other races. But there are many things that it's used for. And at this moment, they seem to be investigating this. This individual you've not met, but you've heard of. This is Administrator Vesalit. This is the person who is in charge of the day-to-day runnings of the Emerald Spire. Also there, you can see there are 3 figures gathered around. One of them, you can see a high elf. They seem to be kind of prominent amongst the other 2 Lexagi that are there. They seem to be male, long, straight blonde hair, sparkling green emerald eyes that shine very similar to the emerald that is around you. The other person is a little bit younger. They are a high elf, although they have more kind of chestnut tone to the skin. They seem to be maybe new, as their armor is much less ornate, and they have a little like bright green sash around them. And then the final person, Olive, if you would like to introduce your character. It's a high elf, and they can look however you want.
Okay, so the voice I was gonna do for this does
it.
not fit at all, but
That's extra.
yeah.
We played around with that.
I don't really know what she looks like, but I guess she's going to be also wearing emerald green silk.
Yeah.
It kind of it fits her nicely, but she's maybe a little bit awkward and uncomfortable in it. And she's gonna say to you all, "Howdy, y'all! Good to see you."
Illuminati.
Who are you guys?
Amazing. So
You should treat me with respect because I didn't realize that I was gonna be in such a position as I am right now.
you can see this blonde-haired, green-eyed elf just goes, Faywin, we have
Yes.
guests, and we should wait for the administrator to speak first.
My apologies. Go ahead.
He kind of steps back, and he like straightens up a little bit, and the administrator at this point turns, here's some turns, everybody kind of looking at your whole group. Here's some especially, you can almost feel his gaze, like looking at all of your clothing.
How did
Minka,
How did we do?
he lingers very long on you, and you can hear him just go, But the administrator turns and kind of hears them a strange look, especially after looking at you. There's a lot of attention. Everybody walking, there's like other warriors walking through here, and everybody stops and just, like, you can hear people go, wow. Like, a lot of reactions to it. It is a lot. And in this bright space, with all these kind of like semi-translucent and opaque emeralds, it reflects a little bit. And so like the pink is glaring in the space. But no problem. The administrator turns. So you have all gathered here to uphold this treaty. I am Administrator Vassalit, and it is my job to oversee the city. Firstly, allow me to present you with the sigil of your group. And he turns and he pulls out this like wooden flat box, and as he opens it, matching the symbol that is on Hearsome and pinning his cloak, you can see 4 or 5 rather identical pins. Now, you were all supposed to design this, but I do not believe you did.
The
Correct?
group chat was a mess.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, what you can see.
We threw some ideas around, but it never coalesced.
Fair enough.
Were they
So-
actual ideas or were they joke ideas?
Yeah, it was
A little
like,
bit of both. A little bit of both.
Oh, what is it gonna be?
This is a shield, and you can see it is quartered. And in each quarter, there seems to be a symbol that represents one of the seasons. You can see a snowflake in one, a sort of leafless tree in another. There is a red sun in the third, and then what looks like a little, I don't know what they're called, the end of a thing of wheat in the fifth. I don't know if that's, is that what it's
Or
called?
is it
is
the
it like a
grain?
group of wheat, or is it
Like
just
the
like
grain head?
Yeah, like
the
a
part
grain
at the
head
end?
of wheat. A
head of wheat?
Yeah. Head of wheat. Each quarter symbolizing one of the 4 seasons. And he kind of offers this box to you, saying, each of you should wear one of these, and it will give you a bit of leeway. People will answer your questions as long as you wear this.
I was gonna, as appropriately as possible,
Yeah,
take the
he'll
box
give you
to
the box,
then
yeah.
like distribute amongst us.
He hands you the box. Hearsome at this point speaks up and says, for all of you, I hope you understand, this is a mission of some import. There has been a murder at Sparklefeather Downs. Administrator. And the administrator steps forwards and give me just 1 second here. Okay. There was sorry, wrong person. There was an ambassador here, visiting from the Republic of Volcanabera, and unfortunately, their husband had a very strange accident at the Sparklefeather Downs. At the height of this race, the ambassador's husband was said to begin to scream before throwing themselves from the luxury box 20 feet below to their death. Work has begun on the stadium area itself, but we've had the luxury box kept as it was. All of you are to go investigate that and tell us what you find. I hope this is not offensive to all of you, but this is my city, and I do intend to send my people as well. thus. And he kind of turns and gestures to the 3 Lexagi that are assembled there. They'll escort you and ensure that you have access to the things that you need.
All right.
Does the ambassador have a name?
1 second here. He does. I just have to remember if I put it in the notes. The way that my notes have evolved is both like really, really helpful and also.
We gotta get you obsidian, man.
Flashlight.
Not a sponsor.
Is that your spider web of notes? That shit's
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
so cool looking.
It's free.
Okay, he has a name, and they tell you, but I have to look it up, so
It's Jeff.
it'll come back.
His name
His name is Jeff.
has name.
And
Billy would
we'll
also ask
substitute
about the
that.
husband's name, so
Yeah.
there's that.
So I'll grab both of those for you in the meantime. But he tells them to you, and kind of turns around. And I thought, is there any other questions that I can answer for you?
When this ambassador's husband threw himself to his death,
Yes.
who else was in the box?
Any witnesses?
The ambassador himself, the Lexagi member who is currently standing guard, so you can ask them questions there. And that was it. This is a small box. It's only reachable through an Archlight, and so it can only fit so many.
Who else would have had an Archlight?
Well, any of the staff from the Sparkle Feather Downs, and then the ambassador themselves, along with their staff.
Would we be able to see the body?
Of course.
Who do we inquire with about that?
The body is on site. As I specified, we kept things exactly as they were, although the body will not begin to decompose for another 5 days.
Did you say? I think I missed it. Where is the ambassador from?
Oh,
The Republic of
Volcanberg.
Volcanobear.
Vulkan.
Oh, B-E-H-R.
It's an annoying ending.
EER.
Berger.
Yeah, it's so annoying, but more reasons it is that for a reason.
Beer.
Do we know anything? Thank you about that place in terms of like relations with like.
So Thornholm is a little closer to the Republic of Volcanobear than the Emerald Spire. And so you might. I would say, what kind of stuff are you thinking about at the moment?
Like, what motive might someone have to wish harm upon this ambassador?
Make an insight check. That's a wide spanning question at this stage of the investigation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just what do I remember? Insight 21.
So the Republic of Volcanobear is the only place that has like a real sizable standing army of the 4 major factions that exist here on the continent. So in terms of trying to do something to like maybe change like the balance of power, that is certainly a motive. And in terms of the Treaty of 4 Seasons, this is the document that has really kept peace across this continent. And so a murder of a diplomat from one of these factions in the territory of another, it could be somebody trying to start trouble in that way. It could be, one of the 2 factions trying to engage in some kind of a, false flag. There's a lot of things that come to mind.
Okay. Did the deceased consume anything before they fell?
There's food and beverage both there, and they have been kept as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, up to the luxury box or the body.
At this, the blonde-haired, kind of emerald-eye person goes forward and goes, there are, for all intents and purposes, 2 sites. You can choose whichever to investigate. We'll take the other, and when you're done, we'll check and make sure that you haven't missed anything.
All right. Likewise.
You say it just like that?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go.
You can see he goes, oh. He turns, he looks at Minka, he looks over at like Billy and Alina, and he goes, I'm going to send support with you. Faywin,
Oh, I'm here.
can you please accompany these fine folks and make sure that they have everything they need?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you like to take the luxury box or the arena?
You said the luxury box is very small.
The administrator steps forward and goes, yes, it is quite small. Perhaps 20 feet around. You could all fit it, I'm sure, and there is a walkway to get there. Be aware, it is on a platform that is suspended above this. If you have issues with heights, it is a bit dizzying to walk across.
Anyone have any issues with that?
I think it kind of settles like closer to everyone and like tries to be quiet. Whether or not successful is.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't really know anything about murder.
So
Have you never killed anybody?
It's like, for all intents and purposes, this cop in your just like leans into your own.
You can tell me. I'm a good cop.
Well, let's start by just going and seeing what there is to see. And I'm sure between all of us we'll be able to make sense of it all. The box.
The box. Box.
sure.
The box.
Fine. Oh,
You can see the guy with like this like sweeping blonde hair is like, very well. He takes this little, it's almost like a ruby, but it is long, almost like a it looks almost like a twig in terms of how it like juts out into these little crystal structures, and it goes up into a little gold cap, but it does glow. And he takes it off and he hands it to you, Phelan. And you would know this is something called an Archlight key. This is something that you can use and tap it to a crystal, and it will teleport you and those within 10 feet of you to the other crystal.
Okay. Why, thank you.
You all take this, and we'll investigate the arena below. And when you're done, we'll make sure that you've not missed anything. He looks at you in particular.
Kiss ass. She coughs as she leaves.
So Ulfric turns, he takes the other Lexagi, and they head over, begin to make their way over to the arena. Hereson turns and says, all of you, remember, you are representing me in this. And as such, I expect you to be on your best behavior.
she's looking at me. Oh.
Thank you, sir. We will. Sir, thank you.
Good.
Person, thank you, sir.
Go along. He kind of, again, shoos you out the door.
While we as we're like turning in the kind of shuffle, I'm going to say to my like telepathically to my little sprite, who is currently invisible, I'm going to instruct her to stay behind and use her heart sight ability on the administrator, which will allow her to magically know the creature's current emotional state.
It is an action. You must touch a creature.
Yeah.
And you get to make a DC, I believe, 10 saving throw against it. And you would imagine they'll be aware of that, should you fail, especially.
I guess that's true.
But you would know that. So if you would like to do that, you certainly can try.
I'm rethinking it. Never mind. We'll save that for another time.
Okay, no problem. So you all make your way over to this Sparkle Feather Downs.
I need to see stuff to be able to do stuff.
Do you maybe have an eye?
Is it different in any way? Maybe special?
It is an eye for deceit.
Don't you also have an eye for detail or something?
Oh yeah, no, it's ear for deceit.
Oh,
There we go.
Nose.
Do you have a nose for anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like collect all the senses.
You need to head north, and you walk down the main street called the Warm and Welcome Way, and at the sort of end of the space, you can see an area where the ground seems to almost drop away into a pit. On the other end of this space, you can see a gleaming kind of almost like a pagoda that has been suspended over this space. You can see there is sitting up there like a green armored member of Lasagi, probably the person that's like guarding this luxury box. And behind that, you can see a massive glowing emerald. Probably, you would know this is the Archlight. Closer to where you all are, off to the left, you can see there are two similar crystals. One will lead to that box, the other will lead to the basement. to where the various fighters, racers, etc. get ready. And with no problem, if you wish, you can, you having the Archlight key, and actually, as you approach the Archlight, looking down into the arena, you can see the two other members of the Luxagi now going through. There are crates in the area. Everything's kind of like in flux, like they're getting ready for an event. You can see like stalls have been set up in the center. There are 4 pillars that rise up from the pit and go out past you guys up to the ceiling, maybe like 80 feet above. And that is what you see, but you know that you can go and touch the key and bring everybody up if you wish.
Are y'all ready?
Billy, like on the way over, would kind of hang back a little bit and like to Alina just like whisper, "It might be a good idea to have Petal go down and check on the body. You know, so we have all of our eyes."
It's a really good idea. And indeed, Alina will send Petal to invisibly just watch and listen and report back. She's not going to do the thing where she can see and hear because because then she'd be like, "What?" But
Billy just carries Alina along. Don't worry, this is how she works.
Petal's just going to give kind of like a running commentary back to Alina on what the other team is like doing and discovering.
Do you want me to be invisible?
Yes, definitely stay invisible.
Okay. So you can see she just kind of blinks and becomes invisible. And then you hear the wings for just a second before she kind of vanishes off. And then over. And you can hear, "I'm approaching the edge of the..." And she like begins to narrate her whole thing. But no problem. For the rest of you, if you want to approach this, as you get closer, this thing around your neck, it begins to almost drift and become taut against the chain as it tries to approach this crystal.
She's getting anxious over here.
After y'all.
I've never used one of these before. So what do I do?
Do you want to try it? You go up to this crystal here, empty hands.
Okay, you take out what is essentially like a skeleton key to various Archlights around the city, and you just give it to this like
You've got to be careful with
wearing-
it, all right? If they find out that I gave it to you, I'm gonna get in deep shit. Hold it like you mean it.
And you're holding this beautiful, sparkling, it is a piece of ruby that extends about 3 inches up and then branches out into other little smaller crystals, and it glows from within. It's beautiful. And you are holding that, and then in front of you, there is a massive gleaming emerald that is about 8 feet tall, closer to like 10 feet tall, really. And then another one right next to it, both lit from within, slightly different colors. And as you get closer, they seem to almost magnetically attract.
We had got it all held hands. Do you understand?
Alina cheerfully like grabs Billy's hand. And like,
Don't remember that being how they worked.
Do I also have to? I'm holding.
You gotta follow. You gotta follow the call. Do you feel the call, don't you, to the crystal?
Yes.
Got this.
So Mika goes over and tink, as you tap it, you see the perception of the world almost become flat. Like everything becomes 2 dimensions and then shifts again. And the 2-dimensionality, as it shifts back to 3 dimensions, everything is different. What you look and see, would you guys like a little visual perspective?
Of course.
Yay! Okay, I'm gonna bring this up in 2 parts. First,
I'm
Throw a couple,
excited.
throw a couple in one of them couples.
Ready to be a
No, no.
noble lady.
Oh!
Cups, yeah.
I did not realize that that's what that
wait,
was
you're
for.
not noble?
Well, yes, no, I am.
I was gonna say, it's not very noble to me.
Yes.
Just from the south. Southern nobility.
yeah,
Yes.
that's a
So
thing.
you said southern nobility?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so
Oh, I've taken too much. Pomegranate seeds?
first,
Pomegranate seeds?
this is the thing that you can see below you. This is the arena.
Oh, do we get to fight as gladiators?
Go and so like there's nobody in the arena itself. You can see this is below you. And
I mean,
you can
we
see the
could.
2 Luxagi members.
Watch out for your mini.
You can do anything we want.
Or
This
you
is
would be
D&D.
crushed.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's just another Tuesday.
I mean, we did just get fresh minis. I would like to use my fresh minis.
Yeah.
Protect them.
Yeah, we don't want a repeat of last time.
Oh, and it's the above section.
So
Wow.
it's right here.
Oh my god, look
Coming
at
in
that
from right
emerald
here.
spire.
And this is the top of that little pagoda, but it's just kind of there. Okay, so
Nice.
let me pull up the battle cam here. The investigation cam, I suppose. And can you just let me try. Actually, that is where you guys are right now. So you, as this view shifts, all of a sudden you are now standing in this circular kind of steps that go down to an Archlight, very similar to the one that you just touched. But you are about 20 feet off the ground, and then as you look forward, there is just a 10-foot wide walkway that extends about 30 feet to this beautiful little luxury box that is suspended itself like an additional 40 feet above the arena below. You can see the Tulexagi in these kind of green dyed leathers looking and beginning to pull boxes apart and look at different things. And in front of you, you can see there is a dwarf in green leather armors. He stands up from the little stool, he strokes his black beard, and he sees you, Feywind, and he just goes, "Oh, this is the investigation group."
Yeah, it is. Don't look at me like that. We are here to solve this murder.
That one too. And she points right to you.
Yes, this one too. Look, she got the key and everything.
It's all of us.
All right. Fair enough then. And he kind of takes a couple steps back and sits on his stool. Body's that way. And he points with his sword. And you can see past him, kind of sprawled out in the center, where there is a little flame in that pagoda. There is actually a corpse. You can see it is sort of sprawled out a little bit. It looks like it looks not good. The legs go in directions that it should not. The only thing that seems to have really changed about it, because you know that this individual jumped, it seems to be as if by magic they have been lifted up and then kind of placed across in this space. Everything else you can see, there are chairs that are knocked over. There is broken glass on the ground. There is what is it called? A carafe of wine that is getting a little bit of a skin to the top of it now. There are sort of withered grapes on the ground. All kinds of things here.
Now I'm
Sorry
within
to
range.
interrupt. I thought so. He jumped from here where we are down to the arena,
Yes.
and then they put the body back.
You can see the arena right now in a state of flux. They're getting it ready for something.
Okay.
And so in order to keep it as pristine as possible, they had to move the body
Got it.
up. to
Okay,
the scene,
okay.
yeah.
I would like to utilize my eye for detail.
So remind me what that does.
It
I
solves
can make a
murders,
perception check to spot a hidden creature or object, or make an investigation check to uncover or decipher clues.
Yeah.
I would
make
like
a
to
per-
uncover clues.
Use your eye for detail.
Hank is gonna hand the key back and just be like, "Thank you for the experience."
No problem.
Just
Let me know if you need it any other time.
Any other time.
I can take you anywhere, did you know? Anywhere, I think.
that would be
Alright.
great.
You can access most of the arc lights in the city, yeah.
19.
19. Okay. 1 second here. With a 19, you get close and kind of very gingerly step over the shards of broken things. You try not to disturb anything. And the first thing that you would definitely notice is there is no hidden creatures here. You're very exposed.
I'm uncovering
On
clues.
the inside here, there's no natural wind, but there is a warm breeze that is probably pushed from the warm air coming in from the transparent side where the facet of warmth is, getting pulled through to the main door that you all entered from, hundreds and hundreds of feet away. But very gentle, warm breeze here. The fall to the first level would be 20 feet. The fall over the front to the bottom would be about 40 feet.
And that's where he fell.
Yes. And looking at the body, that's consistent. You can see probably both shoulders have detached within the skin that is still intact. The body has not in any meaningful way degraded. It seems to be almost living, were it not in some places a little longer than it should be and in some places a little shorter.
Okay.
the guard that's here, the dwarf,
Yeah.
is he the guard who was there with them?
That's what the administrator said.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
So while Ori is looking around, Alina's gonna like sidle up to the guard. So you probably know why we're here then. I mean, you said you did. So what happened exactly?
Oh, it was pretty terrible. The ambassador's husband. Oh, who I forgot to look up his name. Give me a second here. Jeff. Jeffrey, his name was. He. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, Bobby.
I do have to pull up. I want to call him Jeff because otherwise it's gonna stick, and I do not want to have Jeff be
Jeff.
like the
noble Jeff.
inception of this.
It's spelled
We
with
could
a
just call him
G if
Boopy.
it makes it any better.
G-O-F-F. Jeff.
So the ambassador's name is Ardarian Fernway. The ambassador's husband was named Ofen Zwiskit.
Gonna probably
you're
need to get that one again.
Zweiskit. Zwiskit. Exactly as it's spelled, or as it sounds. So those are the names. But for simplicity's sake, the ambassador, Ardarian, and the husband, Ofen. O-P-H-E-N. But the dwarf kind of repeats that, and he says, well, Ofen and Ardarian were having a fantastic time watching the race that was happening. They kept just eating and drinking, and it seemed like everything was great. They seemed to be like an actual in-love political couple, which you don't see a terrible amount here. The Volcano Bears, they do things very differently, I think. But it seemed like it all happened so fast. 1 minute they were drinking wine, and the next he began shrieking in a terrible way. And he seemed to throw himself off.
When he says they like were drinking 1 minute they were drinking wine, Billy kind of like goes over and like kind of sniffs the smashed decanter and like kind of like drags a finger across any like old wine to like hold it up.
Okay.
Seeing if there's anything weird about the wine.
What? So in terms of this, you're looking for like poison or something like that?
Seeing if there's like any residue or like any strange smells.
Make a medicine check.
Because Billy's a lady who knows her wine.
Yeah.
Billy knows potion.
Make a medicine check. As Billy walks over and investigates the broken glass, anything else from anybody else?
Yeah, well, so Alina's gonna say, so you said he seemed to throw himself off. It sounds like you might have a doubt there.
I don't know what I saw. It happened fast.
And Alina's gonna get like real warm and like welcoming, like turn on all the charm she's got and be like, it's okay, you can tell me what you saw. We'll figure it out.
First make an insight check first, and then make a persuasion check.
12.
That's 18 for insight
Okay.
and 11 for persuasion.
So this dwarf leans in as you do. As you get really warm, he seems to almost crave that. You can see he's like kind of rocking back and forth. This is like a traumatic event for him, for sure. And then they put him on guard duty where it happened. So he's like not having a great time. So he seems almost like desperate for this friendliness. And then as you begin to kind of talk and what is it that you said to him?
I don't even remember. I was like, it's okay. You can share what you saw. We'll figure it out.
So he leans in and he just says, I really am sharing everything that I know. They were hugging. They were so close. And there are people that talk, of course, and they say maybe they were fighting, but they looked really in love. But could he have pushed him? Maybe.
So they were hugging right before he screamed and jumped.
Yes.
Anything on the body that's out of place?
So with your check, the first thing that you kind of notice is, this is good quality wine. You know a lot about wine. This is probably what you would consider aristocratic wine, like the nicest of the nice. And as you kind of investigate it, it's hard to tell. It's been out on the ground for several days, and so there's definitely sediment and things like that in it, and you can't really suss out what is there and what might have just been off the floor. And there's broken glass and pottery and things like that as well. What did you just say? You said?
Looking for clues on the body.
Okay. You already made an investigation check with your eye for detail.
Yes.
And using that and kind of carrying it over, looking at the body itself, it's in bad shape. Stuff out of shape about it, it's face down.
Mhm.
And you can see, despite the fact that none of the rest of the body seems like it's really been... It hasn't gotten gross yet. I'm forgetting the word for it. But the medical terms is it hasn't gotten gross yet. Decomposed, thank you.
It hasn't gotten ooky yet.
That's the medical term right there.
It ain't gross yet, but it hasn't started to decompose. And so the one thing that you would notice is the face does seem pretty discolored. You had something that you'd said? I'm sorry.
Would Minka have any knowledge of like poisonous like things like herbs or powdered stuff?
Sure, yeah, make a nature check.
Yeah, does that track with the pale face? Is that like signs that maybe something was ingested?
You want to turn the body over and look at the face?
After I've but keeping the crime scene, as intact as you can when you flip the victim over.
Sure.
Carefully.
A 9. You know about a lot of poisons and things like that, but this, and as Ori kind of turns the body over, you look over, and first of all, the entire front of the face is crushed. The teeth have pushed through the lips. This person hit the ground 40 feet down, and so that's hard to look at. And so while you might know a little bit about poison, you're not really willing to investigate it too closely. Ori, the face badly discolored. They look. Make a medicine check, Ori.
Well, that's when I'm going to cast Detect Magic and just kind of look around the little box to see if there's anything happening.
You cast Detect Magic, and what is the range on that?
So it is a 30-foot range.
Yeah, you see the little triangular lanterns that cast a pale lavender light do have a minor magical sort of effect, but that's true for all of the floating magical lanterns that light this space. Nothing else aside from that.
Okay.
12.
You look at this, and certainly, there's something wrong with the face. It's crushed. It's purple. It's kind of swollen, but you're not really familiar with anything that could have caused this.
Besides, the ground.
Yeah, the ground certainly caused some of the impact damage.
Oh, sorry.
No, would it be weird if we took his shirt off?
Generally, you have to remove clothing to investigate a body.
Because the guy, the gentleman said they were hugging, and I know I have some spells that I need to touch people to do. And there might be something there.
Billy kind of leans down and starts to remove clothing.
Yeah. You begin to pull apart the shirt and stuff like that, and sure enough, as you pull it open, and now that Ori's turned the body over, that discoloration extends down the throat. It seems to disappear into the cavity of the chest, but not consistent with bruising or impact damage. This seems to be a little bit closer, I would say, to injuries consistent with more suffocation. You also notice, now kind of looking at this, having turned him over, having sort of done all these things relatively unsuccessfully, but together, you can see there are,
together.
Aside from the crushing, bruising, and internal bleeding that has caused puffiness here, there are marks as if scratched down the side of the throat.
So probably ingested something.
Does it look like he... Does it match his fingernails?
Yes, it does.
So
you don't think he was allergic to grapes or something, right?
is he allergic to anything?
The dwarf turns over and he goes, "You're asking me?"
Well, I guess is the ambassador around to ask?
He returned to the Republic, which is sort of why I thought you were all here.
Billy kind of like opens the mouth of the corpse to look inside.
Okay. You pop it open. The tongue just explodes out of the mouth. It like almost like a pop pimple. It projects a little bit, so as you put it down, it gets on your hand. Inside is discolored. You can see red, swollen, and not red like you might see irritated skin normally. Vibrant red, angry red.
Does this look like something from suffocation or from something ingested?
Make a medicine check. Billy, our last hope.
Roll good, damn it!
None of us
Roll
rolled
good.
doctors.
Damn it!
I haven't
have
done a
some
medicine
God
check yet.
damn it!
Oh no.
Yeah, none of
I
us
do
rolled
medicine check too?
doctors, though.
Elena, do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Everyone help me! Because I got a 7.
Oh, wait. Tamika like runs over and taps Billy and Alina on the shoulders and goes, guidance.
How much does that add?
It's 1d4, it's not much.
enough.
So maybe an 11, but still not a whole lot.
No.
I got a 14.
Okay.
With guidance?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Hard to tell. You're not a doctor. It's hard to imagine strangulation would cause this kind of damage this close to the mouth, but you're not really a doctor. It could.
Okay, well, we have questions to ask someone then at least.
Mm-hmm.
No other liquids besides the broken carafe in here?
With your eye for detail, as you have that 18 I
Or
believe it was.
powders? It was a 19.
19. You sift through the broken bits of pottery. You see the wine that Billy investigated. You also notice there are broken glasses. You see like little shards, but it's from 2 broken glasses. You can see like the rim elements that would indicate probably 2. And with that check, and now kind of putting all of this together, you're thinking about ingestion. One of the glasses does seem to have a slight tinge of a reddish color to it, beyond what grape would leave behind.
Not blood, but something. I want to try to
With
get
your
that
previous
sample.
medicine checks,
I'm trying to get that
hard to
sample.
but if you want, you can take the shard of glass and kind of hold on to it. No problem.
Billy kind of like sidles up to Minka and says, "Hey, I know you're a druid and you know all this like nature stuff. People are natural, and I believe in you, and I don't really just believe in anyone. But I think if you take a look inside, you'll be fine, and you can probably give us an idea of what was causing the redness there." And Billy gives you inspiration.
Yeah, I felt it coming. Very nice.
Okay.
Beautifully done.
I'll look. She looks and
It's D6.
well, a grand total of 10.
For
No,
what?
no,
What
8.
check was that you made?
I'm gonna like look at the body and like try to like see if I could like suss out what's happening with the mouth and throat area.
So you are a druid. Make
Yeah.
a nature check. And that would be a nature check at advantage.
Oh yay!
Yay.
Oh, thank
Thank you,
Christ.
Joe. Plus inspiration.
What dice is-
D6.
I'm gonna need it. Hey. 15.
Okay.
Is this the one?
Incrementally, you guys went from like 9 to 11 to 13 to 14. To
How many
15.
more rolls do you want us
Oh
to
my
make?
I'll eventually roll over like a 6.
None of us have rolled in the double digits here.
I mean,
I got a 19.
there is something that stands out to you, and it takes a little bit to get. You guys are up here for a while. The dwarf at some point is like, he gets up, he stretches his legs. It's like the NPC idle animations are happening. At a point, you're like, wait, and your mind swings back a whole day to a garden that you had spent some time in. You had investigated elements of the dirt there, and the plants just did not seem to be growing. This grung had talked about how anybody who touched him got a little sick. And you realize maybe part of the problem is when this grung's natural poison got in the ground, it was probably poisoning the ground itself. And then you begin to think, maybe. And as you go and you hear what Billy said, you kind of like pull the mouth open a little bit more. Elements of that slime that you can see, really the red, the slime, not irritation, similar in ways to the same kind of slime that was on Yupple, although obviously red, not blue.
Does anyone have like a vial or?
Billy reaches into the pouch at her side and just uncorks a potion bottle, dumps out the liquid,
Perfect.
and hands it over.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to collect some of the slime.
Okay. Make a medicine check.
Please be better. It is. It's over 10. Amazing. 16.
Okay. So without any trouble, you can use like elements of like a dagger or something to kind of scrape a bit of it away. It's like sort of wet tissue still. And so it does bleed a little bit, but no problem. You collect a little sample. It's gross, but you have that.
Okay. The last thing I want to do is there a good eye? There's good eye line to this from everywhere, right? This is like predominantly in the center, kind of.
You have very good eye lines and everything, but looking up from the ground, you can kind of just see the bottom. And so there's a lot of privacy on this kind of balcony. Yeah.
Who was serving the wine?
Are you asking the dwarf? He turns and says, well, the ambassadors serve themselves, but at some point, I'm sure the ground staff put it up here.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, they could have brought it themselves, I suppose.
See who in the ground staff would have been here working that night.
Yeah, I could do that.
Great.
Do you want to interview the ground staff? I could go get...
Well, see this right here? You see that?
Turns and looks.
That's not wine.
Is it beer?
No, it's maybe some kind of poison or something.
So that's like consistent with like the slime in his mouth.
You think poison?
It
to
is.
jump off?
Well, you know, people do weird things when they feel like they can't breathe. So it's possible that the falling off wasn't necessarily intentional. It may have just been panic.
Scratch marks on the throat there. She probably suffocation.
He turns and looks, and he's like, oh, yeah, maybe.
Are there a lot of grung in the area?
Around here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few, but not a lot.
Any red grum?
Red crumb. I don't know any.
Could we also see the bottle that this wine came from, or the barrel?
Yeah, and he kind of walks over, and on the pathway itself, there's like a little fallen keg.
Oh,
And
this one.
it's right there, still intact. The little spout is still in the bunghole, and yeah, it's there.
Billy like grabs her dagger and like uncorks it,
Okay.
and kind of like sloshes a little bit out.
The dwarf looks a little green now after looking at the face, and he goes, "I'm gonna go get the ground stuff for you guys, because that's a lull." Is there anything else you guys need while I'm going down to the main level?
Minka's gonna look around and see if she can druidcraft a little flower from somewhere.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, there's wooden like railings here.
And I'm gonna try to make it like, if I can, make it like a little lavender and kind of hand it to him and just be like, this might help.
Oh. It's really bitter.
You're supposed to smell it.
Thank you, I guess. All right.
As he leaves, Alina's gonna be like,
It's like holding his little key. Yeah.
"Do you want a hug?"
I don't really. Hugs.
All right then, just checking.
And at this moment, you can
I'm a
see
hugger.
the emerald begins to glow a little bit before he's even touched this key. And he takes a step back, and you can see the emerald begins to shimmer. From below, suddenly, you can hear the individual who you had been speaking to before, blonde hair, green eyes, suddenly turn and go, "This is actually an investigation." And all of a sudden, this Archlight and 6 figures appear, all wearing cloaks, dark masks. And before we roll for initiative, because it is 8:30, we're going to take a quick break. So it's 8:31. Before we jump into this little event, we're going to step away. So it is 8:31. We will be back at 8:41. We'll see you in just a bit. and welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us through the break. If you've just joined us in the meantime, welcome. Our group has managed to have a very brief shopping session, which almost never happens. What do you put? Oh, the camera. Ah,
Hi. That would be me and my tall person head. Sorry.
Tilted down
classic
a little.
tall person head.
That looks
It was
up.
like
Yeah, it's the
There you go.
Oh, it's probably gotta be tight.
God, this is worse than math camp.
This camera 3 view brought to you by.
how's
Kara.
that look? Jen?
Great, yeah.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Both my head and my hands went into fixing this camera.
There you go. So our group had a very brief shopping trip, a little bit of a longer camera malfunction trip, and then made their way to the Sparkle Feather Downs, where you all now have found yourself investigating a murder, and as your sort of valet, essentially, this Luxagi guard who had been posted to preserve the crime scene turns and went to leave. Minka, you went and gave him a sprig of lavender, which he ate. And as he turned to touch the art key, 6 cloaked, masked figures, all shades of black and gray, appeared. You heard the individual below, about 40 feet, turn and say, "Hey, we're having an investigation," intimating that there is probably a similar event happening in that space as well. But you can all roll for initiative as we jump into this combat. 1 second, pull up some appropriate fairy fight music.
Why? Why now?
Hannah, do you have a
Why
miniature
now?
for Petal?
Yeah, I put her on there.
Okay, perfect. So right now, you can put it
times?
anywhere down there that you
Bad
want.
times.
Got a natural 20 now.
I mean,
That's not
good.
terrible.
crit.
Good
All right,
initiative.
so-
Yeah, but like,
Billy,
Crit
natural
damage.
20.
I forget. Does she have her own initiative? She does, right? The
Familiars, I thought they went on yours, but double check because I don't remember. All right, Billy got a natural 20. Anybody else natural 20? Okay. Anybody 25 to 20?
Faye got a 19.
19, not bad. All right.
18.
18 for Ori. Anybody 15 to 10? Ooh, 10 to 5. What is your dexterity?
My dexterity is +3.
Plus 3. Okay. Alina?
4.
Oh,
wow.
still not going last.
Back foot. a bit
Your
here.
allies are.
Okay.
Crap, I forgot my stat sheet.
did you say stat sheet or okay? I thought I heard statue, and I was like,
I forgot my statue. It's my emotional support statue. So the way that this works out, Billy is leading us off, followed by Faye, followed by Ori, followed by the bandits on the upper level, followed by Minka, followed by the bandits on the lower level, followed by Alina, followed by all of the Lexagi that are not Faye.
Did they roll a
A
1?
3. Yeah, oh, natural 1. So, let me make sure I can hear this music. It's higher than other fight music.
They really just didn't expect people to interrupt their investigation.
And if the music is too loud, please let me know.
The familiar does have its own initiative.
Excellent. So go ahead, roll that.
She is
So cool.
Yeah, good get.
14.
This initiative tracker brought to you by Matt. 14.
I don't know who made it.
6.
That's why it's brought to you by Matt. Okay, so Petal at 14 between the upper bandits and Minka. So, Billy, as all this happens, it's almost like slow motion. You turn around and you can see these sparkles begin to apparate into the air. And as the figures show up, you see the silhouettes before they appear. You're moving almost before they arrive. But Billy, what would you like to do? Faye, you are on deck. Ori, you are in the hull.
okay. I was making initiative tracker. I'm sorry.
How dare you do helpful things?
How dare I help? Pedal's not on there. I'm sorry. Well, Billy's gonna draw her sword.
Okay. Zing. You pull out your sword.
Does anyone seem to be like a leadery type?
If you would like as an action, you
No.
can make it.
Billy's going to point at. Oh shit! It's real crowded, man.
Yeah.
Billy can't. Shit. I can't get over there.
Billy, as you like kind of regard the situation below, you can hear the sound of like yells and arrows being like shot. Combat has already begun below. But what are you doing?
Billy's going to do the only thing that Billy can do from this distance, which is an Eldritch Blast.
There you go. Make your attack roll.
No, Billy's not going to do an Eldritch Blast because that was a 2 on the die.
I mean, you cast it, and then it goes wide off into the air, and you see, like, in the very distance, backlit by lavender, it strikes this magical emerald, like, 200 feet away, and like a little ting of crystalline shards fall. But no problem.
Billy's gonna, like, whisper to Alina in, like, a hissing tone, fuck him up, and gives you bardic inspiration.
Fantastic inspiration. No problem. Billy, anything else?
Nope.
No problem.
Can't
Faye,
go nowhere.
you are up, and then Ori, you are on deck.
Okay.
This is Faye is the
Oh, sorry, Faye is Olive.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I
Faye
forgot
went.
that you had a name.
Yeah, that's me, right?
That's
Yes, it's my turn. Can I do Firebolt without hurting anybody around me?
Firebolt is a cantrip, and it's just like a single little firebolt that you're throwing. So yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay, perfect. So she's going to be like, I wasn't expecting you guys to come here, and she's gonna hug one of the guys from behind and jab her fingers into their armpit, and then cast Firebolt.
Amazing. Go ahead and make an attack roll. So technically this is a ranged spell attack.
Range
At
fireball.
point blank, that is at disadvantage. But given the narration, go ahead and roll a flat.
Rule of cool, right?
Okay, awesome.
Just giving him a hug, like, hey!
Natural 20.
So roll damage for that. Double the roll on the dice, and then add your modifier.
Okay, well, there is no modifier, so 5, 6, 11 points of damage.
Okay, so you wrap your arms around this individual, and you can hear from beneath this mask, they just go, "What are you doing?" And you just go, and you fire a firebolt into their armpit. They are wearing leather armor, but it does not protect their armpit. And so you fire this this arcane little projectile straight in. There is a, as it like lights the material on fire, and they yelp out in pain. They're okay, but that's more damage than a cantrip should do. Anything else, Faye?
It's the weirdest wet willy.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Gotcha. I can't escape because it's too crowded. I can't run anywhere. I can't escape this puddle of people.
Unfortunately, at the moment, this is a crowded area.
Okay. Is grapple an action or a movement?
It is an action.
Alright, then I'm going to... Can't guarded step, can I?
Guarded step is a Starfinder thing.
Oh, shit. Alright, I'm gonna stay where I am.
There you go.
Burn through all my options there.
No problem. So you stand your ground, Faye, a proud member of Volexagi. You are not going to let them back you down.
Which one are you?
So that is going to bring us to Ori,
here.
and then the bandits are on deck, followed by Petal. Ori.
Good pick a friend.
How many do I see?
You can see roughly 6 up at the top.
Okay. I'm going to pull out my short bow and steady aim, fire at the one that's coming in from the right of the emerald.
Okay, no problem. So as they just appear, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Ooh, that's good. It's a 19 plus something,
Yeah, that's going to hit.
and that's going to be a sneak attack because of steady aim advantage.
Correct. They're also relatively surprised. As they appeared, Billy almost like supernaturally quick, shooting before they even finish phasing in, so much so that it goes wide and misses. It like passing through their space before they arrive. You see Faye just wrap one up in a hug as they like zap in and shoot them in the armpit.
14 points of piercing.
Very nice. And this one, as they like steady themselves on the crystal and begin to draw this bow out, you shoot them with your own. And it goes through their forearm and seems to almost pin the forearm into the chest. And they have to like pull it away. You can hear them. They yell as they pull this away. And there's this of blood that spurts out. But no problem. Anything else, Ori?
That's it for me.
Okay. So that's going to bring us to all 6 of these bandits. You could hear the sound as they all draw arrows. And from this distance back, 5 of them are going to fire. At you, Ori, probably, unfortunately.
Wow.
All the way back there? Do I have cover? Wow, cool.
And a person.
No, you have no. You are standing on a 10-foot wide, roughly 30-foot long platform with nothing except for little handrails on the side.
And that stool.
Which is
Wooden chairs, but
not going to get
And
you
there's
to cover.
there's a bunch of people in front of
There
me
is
too.
absolutely no way that you have cover in this particular spot. That being said,
Body cover.
I almost said blue banana. Faye, you are going to be taking one sword attack from the one that you are just kind of given that wet willy to.
Yeah.
So we'll do that first. This attack, that is a 21 to hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Welcome.
is going to
Hi.
be 6 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
They lash out at you and they go, "What the fuck?" They kind of like hold their arm, giving like a weird
gotcha.
little slash as they go away. But no problem. At that same time, you hear several short bows release. Give me 1 second here.
We got company that I was not
Ori.
expecting. I'm sorry, as you guys are guests. This is not typical of what happens here in the fire.
Emerald Airlines again.
Yeah, you get a
This is an 11
voucher
hit.
next time you decide
Does
to
a
ride
12
with
hit?
us.
Does a 19 hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2 hit, because 2 are 19, and then does a 20 hit. Okay, so 3 in total.
Now, if
You're
y'all
just
please
like a
fasten your
target?
seatbelts and you got a target, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really like what's it called? Contagious accent.
Yeah.
In total, you take 19 points of piercing damage.
Are you still?
As
Oh,
3 of these
barely.
arrows, you become
Oh,
a pin
God.
cushion.
Oh my god, these guys are bad news.
Your first shot pins somebody's arm to their own body, and so you immediately become the top threat. They unleash a hail of arrows on you. The other individuals around you kind of diving and ducking for cover. There is none to be had here, and so you take 3 of these bolts to the chest.
That's rough.
That is, however, all that the upper bandits can do. I would say, yeah, they're not going to move because they're just trying to keep you there. That is their turn. That brings us to Petal. Minka, you're on deck, and then the lower bandits go.
Petal
Petal is invisible.
She is invisible, yeah. So she's down below. How far? She's just gonna use her whole action to travel up to me. She's got fly speed of 40. Can
Yep,
she
so
make
right
it
up
to
to
me?
the top, then no problem.
All right, cool.
She wouldn't be able to make it to you, so 40
Or
feet
just
would
like
get her
up to the.
right to the. She like can like perch on the edge of the railing.
Okay, right.
there,
That's
yeah.
where she is.
And then yeah, that's. And it's just gonna be like, oh here,
Okay.
there's fighting. There's guys down there.
Yeah, you can
There's
hear
guys
all
here
that.
too.
Just people just appeared. They're fighting, and then you call her back, and she gets up there, and she sees the exact same stuff happening. But that is Petal's turn. That brings us to Minka. The down bandits are next, and then Alina, you're on deck.
okay. So Minka's seeing all these people kind of like appear out of nowhere. Goes, oh, Faye, I'm so sorry. And she's gonna cast Entangle in the center of them to try to capture as many of them as I can in an
Phenomenal.
entangle.
That's a dexterity saving throw.
It is I believe it's a strength saving throw on their turn.
Okay.
Let me just double
very
check
cool.
that. Yeah.
Put
Oh,
those
God.
aside then.
Yeah, all right. I have the fucking card. Technology. I'm so blind.
I hope
You're
it's right.
hybridizing right now. and it's
I know. It's like range.
Strength check against your DC.
Yep. Okay, so strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling plants until the spell ends. Okay, so when they are restrained, then they make the check. So first, strength check to see if they get
Gotcha.
first, and then they make another one on their turn.
Okay. Okay. So 2 of them are certainly going to fail. 2 of them are 3. Then there is an 11, 2 12s, and an 18.
It's a DC 14, so only one person succeeds.
Nice.
Do
So-
I also have to?
What does it look like when you cast a spell?
So Minka shoves a hand into one of the pockets that she asked for, grips onto the components, and then with her other hand slams her staff down in front of her.
Okay.
And then a crack that kind of sparkles kind of makes its way to the center where the center of them, and then a bunch of vines kind of spring out from that little
Nice.
sparkly point.
Okay. So yeah, the walkway cracks, and Ori, as you look down between your feet, you can see like in this very narrow space, between the shafts of arrows now protruding from your chest, this crack spread, and then as it hits this crystal, you hear this very like ding, and then like almost tentacles. They reach out and wrap around 5 out of 6 of these guys. All of a sudden, the one that like backed away from Faye, who like was able to like lash out and try to strike with the sword, is just tight down, and you can see like panicked eyes behind this mask. Does it do any damage?
At the moment, no. It just restrains them, and then they need to make a strength saving show. Take an action to make a strength check on their turn in order to break the spell.
Okay, so at the end of their turn,
It,
you put this around all but the one closest to Faye.
it's using their action.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. So they can still use a bonus action.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So they are restrained, and then use their action to break it. If they don't break it, they just remain restrained.
And that is all of them except for 6. Okay. Awesome. So at the moment, there's an explosion of plant life, and all of these now getting grasped by these vines. Anything else, Minka?
She's going to use her bonus action to take her star form, and then turning around to like back up, she sees all the arrows sticking out of Ori, and then chooses Chalice.
You're like, all right, oh, no, Chalice. And all of a sudden, there is as this light watches
I'm gonna
across.
hit people too.
No. I'm gonna back up as far as I can.
Okay.
And then, if I can, put myself in between Billy and Ori, but behind Ori.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, if I can make to there. But I think I can.
so.
So you, I believe, are going to provoke an attack of opportunity from 2, because restraint
No.
does not end.
Because those are, there's the dwarf and Faye in between them.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
Faye is in between. Right. Okay. Very well. So you back up. You can take your full movement speed and get into that like little pagoda area.
Oh,
if you want.
actually,
Okay.
the ones who had shot me should have provoked attacks of opportunity because they did ranged weapon attacks within 5 feet of Faye and the dwarf.
Also true.
That's
yeah.
a great point.
Very true.
So
So if you want, Faye, you can make one, and the dwarf will make one as well.
Perfect.
Oh, the dwarf is going to hit.
Hey.
Nice.
Does the 17 hit?
The 17 does hit. Yeah, just.
You get 3 bludgeoning damage.
So, not having any weapon in hand, you just punch this dude. And as he like lets go of the arrow, you just punch him right in the face. And you can see he just turns.
Get out of my
What the
fire!
fuck? He begins to pull out another arrow, but no problem. 3
Don't
points
try
of
it
damage.
again.
Like kind of like
I'm already in.
Points of damage to the other.
looks over
Not
like,
bad.
should we ask
Good.
her to come
Excellent
along?
point. Excellent point.
Yeah, right?
So, Minka, that is the end of your turn.
Correct.
No attacks of opportunity provoked against you. That does bring us to the bandits who are below, followed by Alina, followed by all of these Lexagi. So for sake of simplicity... Okay. Wow.
I don't like that.
No, you do.
I do like that.
So you can hear similar above. There's like a barrage of arrows. It seems like these are coordinated attacks. But I would say anybody looking below sees almost every single arrow just pass straight over top. The 2 Lexagi, they kind of like duck into cover behind crates, behind debris, and they're able to stay safe from all of these arrows. Every single one missing. That is their turn. I think actually, because they're down here, they're going to move a little bit.
Choose, man.
5, 10, 5, right there, 2 to there.
Who is what's the name of the fighter lady in Game of Thrones?
Brienne.
Yeah, is that Brienne right there?
No, but before you were gonna play that character, the original Faywin was very much based towards that. She was a
shit.
6'5"
I wish I knew that.
elf, yeah. But no worries. So this is you see them all kind of like surge forwards. The arrows fly. As the Lexagi duck into place, they take the opportunity to advance forward. They kind of swarm one of them, and they seem to be trying to advance towards the other. That is the end of their turn, however. That brings us to you, Alina. You see Petal, who's just like, I'm here! And they just perch on the top of this area.
All right. I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis. Get myself some temp HP.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's also, if someone punches me, then they go,
ice stage.
ow! All right, and then I'm going to use my bonus action to command Petal to take the attack action.
Okay. So as you cast Armor of Agathis on yourself, any element that is wooden or kind of plant-based in some way suddenly just spreads out these tiny little thorns. And you know, anybody that hits you, these will almost ricochet out and strike them back. Anything else, Alina?
No, I'm gonna stay put.
Alrighty. That is your turn, Alina. That brings us, that's probably true, to the rest of the Lexagi. The dwarf who is up there is going to take an attack against the one that tried to hit him.
It's an advantage because he's restrained.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is great. Well, even worse. So you can see he's already having a terrible day. He had to like go back to the site of a very traumatic event at his work and then guard the dead body for several hours.
Now he's getting ambushed.
And now he's getting ambushed right as he had finally gotten an excuse to leave. He's getting ambushed. So not a great day. He's swinging wide with this warhammer. That is going to be his turn. The other ones below are going to take this opportunity to strike out their own. Oh, right. Okay. So one of them below is going to cast Firebolt. That is going to be a hit. You can hear one of the bandits below yelp out in pain.
Wilhelm scream.
You want a Wilhelm scream? There you go. You hear a bandit yell out in pain. Very classic. Probably the bandit named Wilhelm. So that is the lower Lexagi's turn. The one that is behind, like, the thing, can you move him behind the pillar further back towards Kara? Yeah, right there. Kind of climbs up there, and you can see he pulls out a short bow as well. That is the Lexagi's turn. That brings us to the top of the round. Billy, followed by Faye, and then Ori. Billy, from where you are, arrows are flying. There is a firebolt somewhere. You hear this weird scream below. What do you want to do?
Billy dislikes this. Billy's an up close person, and we have no ability to get up close. So Billy is going to kind of like
I'll trade spots with you.
get up close.
No, I need to be able to get out of this fight, but that's fine.
Well, you can pass through friendly people's spaces. So you can get around me, but I can't like stop where you are. Unless I stand on your shoulder.
You can poke through and then come back.
You just can't end your turn.
So you'd provoke an attack of opportunity for having to back up if you attacked. Unless you have 10-foot range.
And,
what do you want to do, Billy?
Billy's gonna provoke an attack of opportunity. Billy's gonna basically like hop into the same space as Faye and kind of like,
hello there, getting close, real quick.
Don't get comfortable.
I am.
Then uses the bonus action to lay the Hexblade's curse on the unrestrained one.
Sure. There's a hunter's mark.
Oop. Oop. And it's gone. And then lashes out with her Shadow Sword.
Go ahead. Suddenly, these shadows kind of coalesce around these small hex marks.
That's cocked. I was praying it wasn't. It was a nice roll. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it a natural?
It's probably a good roll, though, right?
It's a natural.
What was the roll?
One.
Is it a natural
2.
one?
It's a 12.
A 12? Okay.
Hey.
Well, it's a miss. And so as you get forward, you kind of plant your hand there. You're about to thrust the sword up, and then Faye goes, well, hey there! And it kind of throws you off. You swing wide, you turn, you respond to her. Don't
Where's
get comfortable.
Dice jail.
Yeah. Oh, here.
Forgot my dice jail at home. Thank you.
No problem. So, without any trouble, anything else, Billy?
Billy's gonna take a step back.
That person that you just missed, they turn and seeing you, they're going to take an attack back. This is, however, with the arrow, they're punching you with their arrow drawing hand as they currently have a short bow equipped. That's a 17 to hit.
Yeah.
You take a point of bludgeoning damage.
Sweet.
As they reach out and just kind of punch you in the chest. They back up, you back up. That is your turn?
Yeah, but Billy's, oh, you can't take a reaction with an attack of opportunity, can you? Never mind. Yeah, that's my turn.
Alrighty. That brings, I have to look that up. I do not know.
I don't
for
think
Hellish
you can.
Rebuke.
My thinking is you should be able to react
Well,
to
it's
that.
like counterspelling. Counterspelling a counterspell.
You can counterspell
Is
a
it,
counterspell.
So therefore,
I feel like you can
You
do
should
that.
check the text of Hellish Rebuke to see if
It's as a reaction
after.
when you take damage.
Yeah.
So I believe you can if you wish.
yes.
Yeah. That is what, a dex save?
In most cases, an opportunity attack is a single melee attack that can be made against the moving creature.
Yes, it's a dex save.
Okay, that's an 8.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Get him.
That's a 10.
Okay. This person already a little bit hurt, and as you strike into them, as they strike out at you, you pull back, and all of a sudden your skin deepens in its weird kind of purple cast, and your eyes flare, and they draw back and yelp as if burned. And you can see there are elements to their skin that do look a little bit charred. Anything else?
Billy's just gonna grin.
Alright. Yeah. That is Billy's turn. That brings us to you, Faye. Billy, pulls back away. What would you like to do?
So Faye is going to move,
Okay.
through her newfound.
Knock us off.
Everybody dies.
Yeah. Pushes everybody off the ledge and goes, "Oh shit, sorry guys."
So you are going to
I'm new
provoke
here.
an attack of opportunity from one person.
Okay, I'm gonna eat it.
The one person who's not restrained, I believe.
Used it.
They just used the reaction. Fair enough, you're right.
Turn around
Yeah, good job.
and shoot
Insightful
one of
fighting.
these. Guys, I just got these fancy ass arrows that I kind of want to try out if I'm going to defend my life right here. So I'm gonna use a
Magic arrow.
magic arrow.
So you pull out this arrow. This is an arrow gifted to you from a pretty high up officer within this organization as a reward for winning an archery competition. And so
They say I'm a good shot, you know?
So you pull this out, and this is an arrow that seems to be made from a combination of glass through the haft, although there is a thin seam of what looks like copper down the middle, and that is what seems to glow from within. But go ahead, make your attack roll. You do have only 5 of these arrows.
I know. I kind of want to use one before I die.
That's fair.
Alright.
Rules are different when you're a guest character.
7!
Oh no.
No.
So you take this arrow, you pull it back in the bowstring, and as it pulls back, the interior glow gets brighter and brighter. And in this moment, Billy's eyes flare, and you watch as the skin on this individual turns purple. And that freaks you out for a second.
Whoa.
And you fire wide, just staring straight at Billy. And
Who the fuck are you?
out into the darkness.
I have never seen something like that before.
And you can hear this almost firework, zing, ting, off in the distance, as it does a good amount of damage to the wall.
Fuck.
But that is all. Anything else?
I'm gonna say, who are you guys?
No problem. That is Faye's turn. That brings us to Ori. The bandits are next. Ori, around you, there are arrows flying. Not all of them at you anymore, but what would you like to do?
Did I get healed at all?
You got
from your chalice?
No healing yet.
I
That's
activated it, but nothing's happened
Okay,
yet.
Yeah.
cool. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, I'm gonna steady aim again
Okay.
and fire another arrow.
Yeah, go for it. Make an attack roll.
At advantage, so it'll be a sneak attack
If it hits, yes.
if it hits.
All good.
And I guess I already hit the one that's being hit pretty consistently. So I guess I'll shoot the one that's restrained on the left side.
Okay.
So extra advantage. Which means nothing. Wow, that's unfortunate.
I felt it in my bones.
'Cause
That's
I'm
why I said
still
if you
in
hit.
Yeah, that's a 10.
So even with this restrained
It's probably-
individual,
Try to knock it back and I hit the one that's sticking out of my chest.
yeah, the bowstring just catches on the arrow and you
Yeah.
fire just kind of right down at your feet. But no
Faye,
problem.
standing next to you is just like, "Ooh, I'm not
And
the
then
one
I
who fucked up there.
break off the
I feel
ends
better
of the
about
arrows
myself.
so
Sure.
that I can attack next
Frustrated, you take the bow and you kind of hold it with both hands and just break these little shafts down.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get him next time.
That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to these bandits. So, remind me, they can use an action to try to break free?
Yes.
time.
Strength check.
Okay.
DC 14.
And they are just restrained?
They're just restrained.
That's okay.
Okay, so not wanting to take time to break out in the middle of combat, they are going to, there's 5 attacks that are coming back against you. These are all at disadvantage, however.
Nice.
So that does help you quite a bit. One of them from behind the mats just goes, "It's the flamingo looking one! Get him!" The first attack was going to be a natural 20, but instead it is a natural 1.
Nice.
So hang on, I'm gonna hang
You
on to
love
that.
that.
For
We
1
like
second.
that.
That's
Like that.
amazing.
That guy's gonna fall.
All right. So the next one's probably going to hit. That is going to be a 20.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that is only going to be a 7 for the third. That is going to be a 8 for the fourth, and then the final one, another natural 20, but also a 16.
Beats it.
Okay, so no, you avoid 2 natural 20s.
Take it.
The 2 that do hit you, however, you're going to be taking 5 points of piercing damage and 5 more points of piercing damage as each of these just sinks into you.
Use a math.
Most of them missing, but the ones that do hit hard. The one that misses badly, you see it almost like down, and you can you hear below. Oh, I don't know. It was really quiet that time. The Wilhelm scream as that arrow hits the exact same guy. Almost max damage.
Oh, he's probably dead.
He's not. But that
strong.
is the upper bandit's turn. The one that is not restrained. The one that is kind of like dueling with
The green one.
No, they're not going to hit you. I think probably what they're going to do, they have no concept that you were the person that put that on them. So I think what they're probably going to do is they're going to
But they don't know.
they're going
so
to pull out
far.
their bow and they are going to take a shot at Minka because Minka just
Making an
disabled
attack of
all of their friends.
opportunity.
So Minka, this
You're
is
within
a
5
regular
feet, right?
attack.
Attack of opportunity?
You will, yeah. That is certainly going to hit. That is a 21 to hit.
Ooh, yep.
That is 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Attack of opportunity?
Okay, so I can't use an Eldritch Blast, right? Because I don't have that.
Correct.
Okay,
that
so I'm gonna
right?
use my horns and headbutt him.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah. Make your attack.
10.
That is going to be a miss, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm gonna use my inspiration.
There you go.
15.
Just misses, unfortunately.
No.
By 1. And so as you like pull your head back, he seems to be able to see. He pulls off the shot and you thrust your head forwards. He just ducks underneath. Again, he just goes, really? What the fuck? And he pulls out another arrow. But that is all of their turn. That is going to bring us to Petal.
All right, so Petal's gonna get a
Minka,
bit
you're on deck.
closer, and then she's gonna, as directed, shoot an arrow at the non-restrained one. So that's gonna be. So she's using her short bow. 14 to hit.
So though she's invisible, some of you, and I would say probably really just Minka, you hear from off to your side this tiny little ting, and the arrow doesn't seem to really go.
Does she
anywhere.
have advantage because she's invisible?
I don't know. That's a great question. Yeah, I would say
I'll look it up for
probably,
next
yeah.
time, but
I have it right here. For purposes of hiding attack rolls against them, disadvantage, and creatures' attack rolls have advantage.
15.
15. 15 is just barely missing, unfortunately.
Bummer.
And so again, you hear the little ting, but it just disappears. Anything else for Petal?
I think that's all she can do.
All right, Minka, what do you want to do?
So I'm going to reach forward and because Ori's right in front of me, it looks like, cast healing word, cure wounds, on Ori,
Okay.
and then after using the residual effect of the chalice on
Chalice.
myself.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So that
Arrows
is
just get pushed out.
Like
Slash of
Wolverine
light
with the
washes
blood.
across you. Yeah, exactly. It's like the Terminator. Ting, ting, ting. They just fall.
so that is 2 terrible rolls, but you get 8 back.
So one of the arrows.
That's almost double
falls
what
out.
I had.
Yeah, and I get less than that back, but that's okay. And so
More
that's
than
my
double what I had,
action,
actually.
Yeah.
and I don't really have any bonus actions really that I can do. I don't think 'cause everything else is like a spell. So I'm gonna there's nowhere to hide either. I'm just gonna just stay here.
Okay.
Then just be like, that hurt.
No problem. It certainly
Big
does.
glowing, like,
And that brings us to the bandits below. Oh, go ahead.
Shit. Entangle, I believe, is a concentration spell.
Okay, so do make that save.
Let me just double check.
And that's a...
Oh boy.
That was nice having them not be able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Makes it
I mean, they're not
Yeah.
super motivated to move. What was really nice is having 5 attacks be at disadvantage.
Yeah.
So,
Get not 2 natural 20s against Minka.
yeah. So that's con, and it needs to be more than half.
10 plus half, yeah.
10 plus half. Okay, hang on. I haven't done a concentration yet in this.
See campaign 2.
Yeah. It's,
Akka functionally
No.
couldn't
It's a-
fail.
DC 10 or half of the HP dealt to you, whichever's higher.
So I think
Oh, so it would be DC 10, actually.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's one. So it's 3 of them, right? Because I got hit 3 times.
Twice? Oh, no, yeah, 3 of them. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that one just makes it. That one makes it. The last one makes it.
Okay.
Nice.
So as these
Hey!
arrows hit you, some of these like little
Nice.
tendrils of vines seem to
like
almost
that.
snap and break and weaken, but you're able to power through it, and even with the pain, you can maintain your concentration. No problem. So that is your turn, Minka. That brings us to the down bandits. These guys are going to, first of all, 3 of them are going to drop their bows and take sword attacks against the guy that they are surrounding.
This guy over here, the big guy.
No. Oh, yeah, the big guy. That's going to be 1 hit. Okay. Let me just play with my toys for a second here. All right. And then there are 2 that are going to be taking arrow attacks against the one that is hiding. He does have full cover. That is a natural 20. And a 20. Ooh. So this person, and you had seen them previously, they have a little like bright green sash. They look like they're probably a trainee. You watch, they hide behind the pillar and they lean out, and as they do, right in the chest, right at the base of the throat. If it had been any higher, it would have been like a clean kill shot. But you see, they just like reach and they go to call out and they cough and just sink to the ground. They're unconscious by that crit.
Damn.
Yeah, max damage from a natural 20 does that.
Damn.
You hate to see that.
That
is
is
a toughie.
Provo Lexagi. They go down. So
Brother, no!
that is the down bandit's turn. That brings us to Alina, followed by the Lexagi.
All right. I'm gonna. So for purposes of like disadvantage, I'm like standing right next to this guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a table here, but can I stand in this square?
If you wanted to, I would say it's such a small table, it's really like an end table. You can
Kick it
just
over.
toss it over the side, no problem.
I kick it over the side with my hoof.
Yeah. You watch as it plummets 20 feet down and shatters below. That is a long fall.
So if there is an attack of opportunity coming, that's fine.
Okay. You'd imagine there is.
Okay. Do you also have Hellish Rebuke? No, but I have Armor Vagathus up.
No. That's going to be a 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I'm gonna shoot an Eldritch Blast at green guy there.
Okay. Hey, green guy.
Yeah, green guy. 19 to hit,
That hits.
and that's gonna be 12 damage.
12 damage.
And then with my bonus action, I will command Petal to take the attack action.
So you fire out this Eldritch Blast. It strikes this individual as somebody like shoots an arrow behind you, and you have to almost dodge out of the way. And as you pull up, you get ready to like tell Petal to attack as well, and you see this guy just pale. The mask almost like slides down. They have blood coming out of their nose. They just drop to the ground, unconscious.
Is
Perfect. Exactly the amount of HP you needed on them.
delightful. Is there a wall around here, or
There
is
is
it?
not. There is a very small 4-foot tall railing,
Okay.
but it
Does he tumble over it, Joe?
yes.
Nice.
So
Bye.
as he like falls, he leans back, and you can see like the mask come down, and he just like reaches out and then right over the side.
Billy has healed that 1 HP of damage they were dealt.
There you go.
Nice.
They have no death
Oh, I'm
saves
sorry
left
about
now.
your. I forgot you can't just move it with a bonus action.
I am healed now, so I get the effect no
Healing
matter
is-
what.
oh, that's
It
right.
ju-
Okay.
It just
Elena,
says
anything
when
else?
they die.
Nope, that'll be it.
All right. So this dwarf is going to swing his warhammer around. Oh, and they're actually that's an advantage. Not that it matters.
Did he miss again? Oh man,
14. Yeah, he's got this.
He's having a rough
So he
day.
swings again, and this time he
Poor
like
guy.
slams into some of these vines, like breaking them off, and the vines kind of getting in his way. But the two that are down below, sorry, the one that's down below.
Yeah, the other one's making death saves, right?
Yeah, the one that is down below, almost swarmed on all sides. At this point, is really just trying to break away and is unable to really get any attacks off. That is the Lexagi, which brings us to the top of the round. Billy, you are up, followed by Faye and then Ori.
Moving!
Okay, you break away.
Do I spread my wings and reach for the sky? Sorry. Yep. Billy's gonna light up her sword with some green flame blade action because they're all casually nice and close together.
Yes, they are.
Because they're restrained, do I get advantage on an
You
attack
do
roll?
have advantages on attacks against restrained creatures. Yes.
Yay! Yay!
Did you hit
Yay!
something?
I hit something with a 24.
It's bound to happen this month. Okay, now go ahead and roll damage.
Joe is really mean to me.
But is anything that I said wrong?
No,
Yeah.
it's because I ripped Joe's character's face off.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yo, yes, yes, yes. Ooh, max damage. 10 points of damage to the guy in front of me and 3 points of fire damage to the guy next to him.
Very nice. So this is with your sword, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so as you swing forward with this blade, it cuts across and it's almost like the blade grows longer and the spectral extension lashes out at the guy next to him. It cuts across. They're beginning to look kind of rough, those two. Both almost about the same amount. Anything else, Billy?
That is my turn.
All right. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to you, Faye, followed by Ori.
Okay, I'm going to. She draws her bow back
Okay.
and is going to ding, launch it at a healthy looking one.
Excellent. Magical arrow?
It says I can declare it after I shoot. If I
Yes, you can.
No, you can declare which of the two. that
Oh,
you
which
have
of the
access
two?
to. Yes.
Okay.
No,
I'm
so you have to declare that you are, I think, using a magic arrow. You can because sorry, what you are talking about? Yes, she has ammunition that is plus
Right.
1 arrows. So you need to say that you are using that arrow.
Oh,
but
so
you
that's
can
not
choose
the...
if it's an arcane arrow or not afterwards.
Right. Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna shoot a magical arrow.
Okay, so this is a plus 1 arrow, and you can choose after it hits if you want to use the arcane arrow feature as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, got it!
Very nice.
Yeah. So.
Which one do you want to kill?
D6, Yeah.
Are you using either of the arcane arrow options? You have a
I'll
shadow
use
arrow.
the shadow arrow
Phenomenal.
because the seeking arrow seems like it can be used in a different situation other than such.
Yeah.
So they make a save, right?
Yeah. You have to make a deck save.
Okay, that's gonna be 13.
No,
You-
that's the
Oh, right. No,
uh,
it's wisdom. Sorry.
wisdom
That's gonna
save,
be a 9.
Wrong one.
and takes an extra
Beats it.
2d6.
Okay, very nice. Well, so
Well-
meets it beats it means that they pass, but
Yeah.
they still take 2d6, I believe. Or
Yeah.
half that.
It's
It must
an extra
succeed.
2d6 on the attack
Oh,
damage,
very nice.
and then they also have to make the save, or
So
else.
go ahead and roll a whole bunch of damage, and
4
you double
d6.
all the dice, and then add your modifiers.
If they failed, they wouldn't be able to see anything farther than 5 feet.
That's I
Oh my
forgot the
goodness,
shadow.
okay.
yeah.
Well, fortunately,
Spider.
make sure I have the. Here we go.
Hey, look.
Okay, so 4.
That's just
2.
not.
You're the druid.
That doesn't mean I enjoy having spiders on me.
Leave that poor tiny spider alone.
It's the druid.
Or can't see bugs. He
Nice.
they walk right by him.
10, 16, plus 19, 21.
math camp.
21.
Yes.
So one of these unhurt individuals in the back, you can see like the sort of like vines wrapped around them. You take a shot. You take a second in the moment of this like heat of battle to line the shot up. And when Ori like pulls their arm back and another one like tries to snap one of the things away, there's a perfectly clean channel. And you fire. It goes under Ori's arm. It goes like beneath one of their chins. It snaps one of the kind of vines that isn't currently grabbing anybody, and it plunges directly into their throat, and then goes all the way deep through the haft, so that there's only just little bits of fleshing sticking out. And as they try to like yell out in pain, it is just a foam of blood and saliva that exits the throat rather than the mouth.
And then they fall off.
And then they fall off and over the side and are certainly very dead.
That's why they named me the finest archer in this Emerald Spire. I'm going to use my action surge to see if I can do it again.
And make another attack roll.
Not a natural 20.
But it's an advantage because they're restrained?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, the first roll was better, so 15 to hit.
15 just misses, unfortunately.
No!
And so that one, seeing you absolutely annihilate their friend, even though they're restrained, is like, oh, and like tries to like, you hear, as it like tries to pull taut, and they get a little bit behind the crystal and manage to save themselves.
Which one?
I will get you.
The furthest
You
one
can't
back
run
left.
from me.
This one?
Yeah.
There's literally nowhere to run.
Okay. That is
Find
Faye's
you.
turn. That brings us to Ori.
I'm not aware of what's going on below besides the noise, right?
You just hear the noise.
Yeah, like it's not. This isn't over this. It's the way
Exactly
it is,
as
but
seen,
this is just floating.
Correct.
Then I am going to once again steady aim and fire.
Make your attack roll at advantage.
Actually, because I already have advantage, right?
For the ones that are restrained, yes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do it without using my bonus action for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Save my bonus action. Okay, cool. Double 18, so that's 24 to
That
hit.
hits, yeah.
That's gonna be nice. 12 16 points of piercing damage.
This is against the which one?
The last one that's restrained over there.
Okay, that's the least hurt one. That's 16 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay, so for this individual as well, already restrained, you can see them like all the way behind the crystal, these vines pulling taut, and then you see Faye's arrow right by them, and they duck out and they just go ha, and you pull and fire, and in that moment it just goes straight into this guy's eye, and you watch as it's like a moment of like this gasp, and then they just like grab this haft and they pull, and there's that as the eyeball comes out, and they just fall over the bit railing.
Damn.
20 feet down to their death.
Yikes. All right.
They are dead.
Which one
So,
is it?
the one that's that was restrained.
They're all
physical.
restrained.
They're all restrained.
Oh, that, yeah,
The
that
purple one.
It's,
Oh, I didn't even see the one behind there. So yeah, that
it
one.
is technically hooded or cloaked figure number 2 or number 1 just died. So
And then
you have a bonus action still.
yes, and my movement because I didn't use steady aim. So there are 2 left up here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna run to the edge here to see how things are looking down below.
So you run to the edge, and there are 5 unhurt members of the same group.
There are
that are
3 up here,
swarming
by the way, not 2.
Oh,
This
okay.
group. 3 of them currently like hanging onto that blonde-haired Lexagi, and then you see the like trainee bleeding out on the ground.
Ooh. They could use some help down there. And then I'm gonna use bonus action, insightful fighting on the one down there that seems to be causing the big guy the most trouble.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So it's I need to make an insight check against its deception check.
I mean, that's pretty good.
All right.
17.
18 for me.
Hey, look at that. Very nice.
So I can sneak attack it for the next minute.
No problem. One of the things that you do notice about your insightful fighting is as they move, though they're relatively good at shooting these arrows, there's no precision to their movements. This isn't like drilled and trained. These aren't soldiers. These aren't fighters in that regard.
Okay.
That is your insightful fighting. Anything else, Ori?
That's my movement and my action and my bonus action, so that is it for me.
Okay. So that brings us to these 3 remaining upper bandits. The one that is not restrained is going to... they have their sword out, right? Yeah. So they're going to try to cut free their friends. Now kind of like having a moment to think about this. What I'm going to say is there's no rules for that, probably. So they're going to make strength checks on the behalves of the 2 individuals who are restrained.
Okay.
So they see 2 people, they kind of like tuck the sword, they sheathe the sword, they grab 1 vine from each one and just go, and it just does nothing to either one as they roll a 4 and a 5.
Toby Maguire holding back a subway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was thinking Captain America with the helicopter.
Yeah. Unnamed hero from not a sponsor holding back a thing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely what is happening up there. The 2
All
who are
very
still
legally
restrained,
distinct.
exactly, are going to make attacks at disadvantage. Probably, well, they can't really see Ori, so Billy, probably against you. Billy, the first one is going to be a 21 to hit at disadvantage.
Wow.
The second one is only going to be
That's
a
a toughie.
7 to hit at disadvantage.
That's 1 hit.
So that is going to be 8 points of piercing damage. So close, and like despite the fact that they are restrained, it isn't a hard shot against you. So you feel this arrow dig into you from behind. But that is the upper bandit's turn. That brings us to Petal. Minka, you are on deck.
Do I get an attack of opportunity because they attacked me at long range?
Yeah. If you're within 5 feet of them and they shot you with
They're
an
not
arrow.
within 5 feet.
The one who
of you.
hit, the one who hit isn't within.
No.
Okay.
Well, neither of the ones that used arrows are within 5 feet of you. I don't think. I have to double check.
Is this the one that used the strength check?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, no. Never mind.
It should be the only one that doesn't have a status ring is the one that made the strength check.
All of them have status rings.
Oh, then one of them was pulled out that did not have it. So yes, that one in the back is the one that in my mind did not have a status ring because I can't see one on it.
All right. Petal's turn.
Yes.
All right. So as instructed, she's gonna take out her little short bow, and you hear her mutter, "I promise, guys, it's really cool when I actually hit somebody." She's gonna shoot the guy who's standing in front of Billy.
It's that advantage is you are invisible.
Nope, she's not invisible anymore.
Oh,
She made
right,
an
right,
attack
she's
before
right.
she popped up,
They
but
are
that's okay
The
because I
one next
got
to
a
Billy's
natural
not
20.
restrained. Very nice.
All right.
Roll damage on that.
I don't need to roll. It's 1 damage, but I guess I don't know. Does it when it just says
It's like
1
a
piercing damage? Does that mean it's 2
It's just
damage?
one, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine because that's not the important part. The important part now is that he has to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 15.
Wow.
GC 15.
It uses my DC. I have a special thing.
What wisdom save?
No Constitution.
10.
Okay.
Nice.
So he is poisoned.
Nice.
Okay.
1 minute.
Can you put this on that individual? So there's a little thing, and as this tiny little arrow
Natural 20
appears in
on
this
1 HP
individual's
attack.
neck, it's like a dart almost, and just thing, and they just pull it out and go, "What the fuck?" and just flick it off to the side.
Dizzy.
They don't seem to be reacting to it that quickly, but no problem.
And then Petal, as a free action, is going to be like, yeah! That's it.
Fantastic. That is Petal's turn. Minka, what would you like to do?
All right, so Minka is going to use more healing because she's still very hurt, and it seems like Ori is still also very hurt.
Not looking great.
So I'm gonna do healing word this time.
Fantastic.
Should probably help the guy down there.
It's pretty far away.
Minka can't see that guy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna healing word Ori for grand.
You feel the radiant light strike you, but it's just the tip.
Yeah, it's like it's a grand total of 5.
5?
5, yeah, but
That's-
I rolled a 1.
That's fine. That's like
much better for me though.
Yeah, a little level 5 is pretty decent.
10 damage.
All right, nice. So the celestial light that drifts off of you and casts this bright light across the area seems to be healing you a little more than Ori.
It likes me more.
Yeah, apparently.
And then I'm
Twice
going
as much.
to
Just have to
see
warm
that
it up a
everyone
little.
seems to be doing pretty okay over there. I don't think any of my cantrips really are all they're all touch. All right. I'm going to run over to the next to Ori.
Okay, so right up to the railing.
Right up to the railing. Look over.
Okay.
And then I'm going to assume I'm seeing like the same situation.
Yeah, you see this guy just scream out as he gets stabbed, and yeah, there's the one Lexagi swarmed by 3 people, and 2 others that seem to be turning their direction towards him.
Okay, so since I can't do anything that can actually like affect them really, I'm just gonna touch Ori and cast guidance.
Okay. So Ori, Mika comes running up to the railing, kind of like catches themselves, one hand on the railing, one hand on your shoulder, and just guidance. No problem. Mika, that is your turn. That brings us to the bandits who are below. Matt, if you can move the 2 bandits that are not touching the one remaining guy down there, yeah, right up to him. The one on the right has to use their action to get there as well. But one of them will get to attack. The other 3 are going to attack as well. Oh boy. The highest roll was a natural 9. It was a natural 1, natural 2, natural 7, natural 9.
Nice.
So all of these miss, and this person
This guy's just like
yeah, he's like using the kind of built-in metal plates of this leather armor to deflect each of these blows as they move. He's looking kind of rough, but he is still standing. That is the down bandits. That brings us to Alina. Alina, what do you want to do?
All right, I'm gonna turn and go take a look at what's going on over there. As I do, I'm gonna be like, Paddle, just keep shooting those guys. 1, 2, we'll say 3, 4. I think I can get just to the railing here.
Yeah.
And I'll look over and I will. Oh, okay, she's fine. That's good. That's all good.
We know where you are.
I'll Eldritch Blast. Is there? Can I like tell which one is looking a little rough?
Given the people down there, they all look relatively well off.
All right.
I would say without a check, you can't tell which ones are hurt.
That's fine. I'll Eldritch Blast
Yeah, make
the
an attack
one
roll.
that is closest to me.
It's about 40 feet away.
All
A
right.
little more.
Math. It's hit math probably. 25.
25. Yeah, 25 hits.
Okay. And that's gonna be 14 points of damage.
14, very nice. Unhurt was this individual, but no longer. This Eldritch Blast streaks across the space, and this bolt of almost pure force almost knocks him off his feet. But he regains his composure. Anything else, Elena?
Nope, that's it.
All right. That brings us to the Lixagi, the one down at the bottom. Is going to attempt to, I guess it's just going to reach out and help stab somebody because it can't move anywhere. Nope. That's an 11 to hit. And so you can just hear this individual just going back and just swinging around as best he can, but he can't even get his arm extended in this crowd of people. The dwarf, on the other hand, is going to get advantage against one of these entangled people. That is going to be a 17 to hit, which just hits.
Nice. No. He's finally mustered up the strength.
Yeah, he finally says, I've got you now, and just slams the hammer down. That is 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you watch as he completely clocks one of these individuals unconscious. That leaves only 2 of them left up top. That is the Lexagi's turn. To the top of the round. Billy, you are up. Faye, you are on deck.
So as a note, I'm taking back the guidance because I forgot that's also concentration. I don't want to drop the other one.
That's fair.
So.
And you would know that.
So it's an Archlight to get down to the base area as well, right?
Jump.
Correct, but you remember there are 2 back at the base of this one, so you'd have to go through this one and then go through another one. And you haven't looked down there.
I can't, the Arclight's not down there.
As far as you could tell, yeah.
Okay. Billy's not gonna jump. Billy can't jump and survive. Okay,
You and me
Billy
both.
can't jump and survive as is. Billy's gonna hit the poison guy in front with a lovely great green flame blade.
Okay, so they go to swing at you, and all of a sudden they kind of draw back, and they seem to be blinking away. But make your attack roll. It is at advantage.
Natural 20!
Hey!
Go ahead and roll damage for that. Double the dice.
Good thing I doubled the dice. It's 8 points of damage to the one guy.
That's very funny. You almost did not kill a very badly injured guy with a natural 20.
And then
but by 2 points, you did.
And then the other dude gets 3 points.
Okay. So, okay, no, he's still fine. So the individual who takes the 3 points of damage, they still seem relatively unhurt, but their friends, 3 of them in this round, just get dropped. And all of a sudden, they're recognizing that they are very outnumbered. They seem to be a little bit nervous. The other person, yeah, just like that, topples over the edge. They are very dead. And that is your turn, Billy?
Billy takes a free action to just kind of, like, swirl the sword around and, like, grin at the final guy.
Make an intimidation check.
Yeah!
For free.
I am not intimidating whatsoever. That's a natural one.
So you take your sword and you go, and as you swing it around, the tip just scrapes along the edge of the stone and right over the edge. And it falls 20 feet to the ground below. Clang, 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 right on the ground.
That's tough.
Oop.
So natural 1.
Billy still has movement. Billy's gonna go after the sword.
Gonna jump over the edge.
Billy's gonna jump the 20 feet for that sword.
Phenomenal. So you jump
make
off
us
the
see her.
side. You plummet 20 feet to the ground.
Wow.
Do you have something you can do as a reaction?
I do.
Okay, what are you doing?
I have reaction feather fall.
Billy just leaps, going after the sword, full like Superman spread. And Billy, as you grab the handle and are like about 5 feet over the edge now, you have 15 feet to go, and you feel like your momentum pick up. And as you go and go and go, 10 feet off the ground, it seems to almost stop your momentum. And you just kind of slowly, your face just right into the stone, and then your body onto the ground. No problem.
How long does feather fall last?
It lasts for a while.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like if not a full minute, it's longer or longer.
I thought it was 1 minute.
It might be
Go ahead and
1
put yourself like off the side of the path. You are now down in a group. There's like several people who are like on the street down here. You're at the base of several buildings, and there is commotion.
So am I like out of the battle?
There's a 20 feet of just space.
1 minute.
And then you can see the platform above, and 20 feet below,
Oh,
there
that's
is
fine.
like this coliseum. Yeah,
That's fine. I can get there.
there you go.
We're good.
So that is
Go
your
back
turn,
24
Billy.
feet.
That brings us to Faye, or you are on deck.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow at the last one. That's almost dead.
Make your attack roll. This individual seems a little nervous, and then Billy just throws their sword off the side and then jumps after it. And
That's
they're-
okay. I'll
they
pick
look
up.
so confused.
I like the sword.
I'll pick up where you left off. Don't worry. It's gonna be a 16 to hit.
16 just hits.
Okay.
Pizza pizza.
4 points of damage.
4 points of damage. Every little bit helps. Sinks into his leg. He like almost like kind of reflexively tries to grab Billy as they dive over the edge, and then turns around and goes, huh, and then just gets stuck right in the shin. This arrow breaks off and doesn't sink in, but does a good amount of damage. And he's looking kind of hurt. He's confused. He's feeling a lot of emotions right now.
Can you just die already? We are done. I am done with you.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Is your bow gonna fall off the side?
Yeah. 10.
Okay. They don't seem especially intimidated, but they are confused. That is your turn, Faye. Ori, what do you want to do?
What is the feasibility of a single flask of oil drenching all of these people?
Possible. Likely.
Okay. In that case, then, I'm going to...
But I mean, like, they're tightly grouped. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. You're probably going to get 2 or 3 regardless. Getting all of them would be tough, but possible.
And then, would it be an extra action to light Rag soaked in the oil on the front of an arrow to fire down to light the oil after drenching them?
I think that's probably 2 different actions, yeah.
Okay.
It took you longer than 6 seconds to explain
Exactly.
Then I'm just gonna go ahead and steady aim and shoot at
Yeah, make your attack roll.
until this guy, because I can't really do this until the other guy goes down.
And the last person that was hit down there, they're looking pretty rough.
That, I think is caught. Yeah, so. Okay.
For what it's worth also, you're shooting from an elevated position. You have advantage anyways.
Oh. Alright, well then I'm just gonna. Yeah, I hit him either way, so. Well, I think I hit him if they have 16 DC because it was 21.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely that hits.
Sneak attack. 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay. So as you fire down from the very top,
And the one that was giving the most trouble.
yeah, and so you had hit them previously and they already look kind of hurt. This is just enough to push them past the point, and as it strikes into their shoulder and seems to almost disappear, they seem to almost get pulled from the momentum of the arrow into the stone, and they don't get back up. You can take one of them off. Number 3. So, anything else, Ori?
Nope. I'm gonna say I did use my steady aim, so I'll stay honest.
No worries. So this individual, the last kind of guy here, he looks really confused. People like kind of shoot at him. Billy jumps off the edge, and he just goes. And he pulls this thing from around his neck and taps the Archlight, and there is this kind of like crackling and glow of light, and disappears. You see maybe like 40 feet off near the base where that Archlight connects, appear. There's like this kind of gasp as the crowd had kind of like gathered around and was looking up, and he appears in their midst.
Does the Luxagi dwarf go with him?
No. Oh, you know what?
Because he's right next to it.
He's not a willing creature? No, he does not. He sees this happening and kind of like steps to the side out of that. But yeah, good point. Sorry, so that is that bandit. That is their action. They're going to take 30 feet of movement and then dash 30 additional feet. And so they're kind of like running off, like pushing people out of the way, trying to disappear into the crowd that is certainly gathered. But that is the upper bandit's turn. That brings us to Petal, followed by Minka.
All right. Well, nobody left up here, so Petal's gonna come over next to Alina and see if she can shoot someone down there. So how far is it from like here to down there?
Well, following the hypotenuse, about 55 feet.
Ish.
That was my Matt impression.
A squared plus B squared, baby.
So she is gonna fly. So she was what, about here? So 1, 2, we'll see. So she's gonna fly down about 10 more feet, so she's within 40 feet.
Yeah.
And then shoot her little short bow at.
Well, that math worked out perfect.
Hypotenuse.
Oh no, Petal still had 10 more feet because Petal is 540.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she still has 10 feet of movement.
40. Dang.
For a tiny little sprite.
That's like, yeah, that's
She
pretty
her walking
impressive.
speed is 10.
Yeah.
But she's beefy in other ways.
That's amazing.
Math. 13 to hit.
13 to hit, that is a miss, unfortunately. This tiny little arrow kind of caught by one of the warm drafts and just off to the side. But that is Petal's turn. That brings us to Minka.
Okay. So, seeing everyone's attention kind of like is now shifting over there. She's going to look at one of the hooded figures, probably the one that's visually closest to her.
Sure.
And cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay, yeah, make an attack roll.
That's a total of 17 to hit.
17 just hits.
Awesome. Okay, so Guiding Bolt is 6. So that's 3, 4. So that's 10, 12. That is 13 radiant damage.
13 radiant damage?
Yep.
And that was against the person that you thought was just the person that was closest to you?
Yes.
Okay, hang on 1 second here. All right. So that streaks down, and all along the glimmering kind of like green emerald and the sort of dark gray stone that is deep below, there is this like streak of light that follows this glowing bolt, and it hits them. And within, their skin seems to glow from underneath, although it seems to almost burn away at elements, and they are badly hurt, but still up.
Okay. And then my next question is, if I wanted to use to switch forms, is that still a bonus action?
I think it's a bonus action is what I remember it being.
Okay. So I'm going to switch forms from the chalice to the archer.
Okay. So as you shift your form, suddenly this glow around you, to many people, it's not quite as concrete as it is for you. And so they just kind of see like a shift in the light, and these kind of shadows shift and move. But for you, the chalice rearranges to form the archer. Anything else?
No, I'm not going to move. I'm going to stay here.
Alrighty, that is your turn, Minka. That brings us to the bandits down below. They are going to take these 3 attacks. 2 of them are going to hit. And so... Ooh, 2 max damage. That's 20 points of damage.
Oh boy.
And so you hear this, as he's like swatted down, and there's this like ching, 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 as this is like a Caesar, like now they're just stabbing him again and again on the ground.
2 Wilhelm.
One of them turns, and kind of looks up. And you can see they're going to take their movement to move up to the base where you guys aren't really able to see, but there is like a doorway kind of where those crates are. And they're going to wait because they cannot use another action. But they seem to be moving out. That is the down bandit's turn. That brings us to Alina and then Luxagi.
Okay. Can I...
The way that you're smiling makes me say no, but please.
Let's say
yes.
that I were to leap over this,
Yes.
and then after falling about 10 feet, cast Misty Step.
You could certainly try that, yeah.
Right?
In the same way that you would make a concentration check for a spell, you need to make a concentration check to cast the spell. What is the casting time? It's not a bonus action.
It is a bonus action.
You can cast the spell.
Yay,
Absolutely.
thank you. All right, so I'm going to do that. So
Are you telling Minka what you're doing?
I'm gonna be like, it's okay, I got this, bye!
Okay.
And then she's gonna...
Just hear clap, 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 and then just over the edge.
And then, oops, down. Oh no, oh, so sorry. And then as a free action, I'm gonna be like, you're not going anywhere! Or whatever. And then, I can still cast Eldritch Blast, because Misty Step is a bonus action. And Eldritch Blast is a cantrip, so I'm gonna shoot it at the guy who is trying to
Eldritch Blast.
If it's the guy that's glowing, you get advantage, I believe.
Is it the guy that's glowing?
It's this one.
There's a
The one
guy
who's
who's like
trying to-
glowing. He's like limping over. He's not looking great.
I would shoot at the one
Yeah,
who's glowing.
roll advantage.
So 16 to hit.
16 just hits. Meets it, beats it.
Oh wait, the glowing means I have advantage, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if I crit, and I don't. Okay. So that's gonna be 11 damage.
So he's like limping along, glowing brightly, glimmering off this kind of gray stone. And as he's about to reach up and try to grab for this door handle, you shoot and it almost severs the forearm. There's this of blood as this brachial artery is completely torn away, and he bleeds out right there and kind of against the door and hits the ground.
Yeah.
Very dead. Anything else, Alina?
Nope.
Alrighty.
Running away.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
That brings us to the dwarf up here. He finally taps his Archlight and vanishes and disappears back down. Billy, you see him show up, and below you hear, "It's under control!" And he just dashes off into the crowd following the other individual. But that is the Lexagi's, the lone remaining Lexagi's.
This guy's done?
Yeah, he got killed, and then he got stabbed twice on the ground.
Oh, so he's dead.
Billy, you are up, followed by Faye, and then Ori.
All right, Billy's gonna go after the guy dashing away because she doesn't know what's going on here.
No problem. So you dash. He's about 40 feet away from you from where they started, so they are an additional like 70 feet away from they're about 110 feet in front of you. So taking your full movement, that is 60 feet, they're going to be about...
You said there was an action to do this, and then they ran their movement.
Correct.
And then that's right, because I had to
it's 3. They get the cunning action. Fuck.
Tells you something, huh?
Fuck.
This has a range of 120 feet.
I know, but they're people.
A lot of people.
Uh-oh, people. Billy's just gonna dash after and follow the dwarf.
Okay, you make it, and you catch up with the dwarf, who is actually a little slower than you are, and so you catch up, and you can see he's like stopping and being like, "It's under control. Please clear the way," and like begins to move, and he's going a little slower.
Can I
catch up to him?
Free action, just be like, if you have any authority here, just get people to clear out.
He begins to just be like, "Clear the way," and people are kind of like trying to step out of the way, but this is a big commotion. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Faye.
She's going to be like, I was this close. I'm gonna get you. And she's going to draw her bow back, and like as they're running, she's gonna aim for them.
So Billy, as you're like, tell him to clear the way, he goes, "Clear the way," and you hear from behind somebody like right in front of you goes, "They're shooting at us!" And the crowd starts screaming. People are running for cover. And so Faye, at this moment, as you pull the bow back and this magical arrow glows in the distance, you clear the street and you see this guy just running away. Very clear shot.
I'm gonna get you like I said I was going to.
From you right now, he's about 120 feet. What is the first range on your bow?
Is it a short bow?
No, it's a long bow, and I don't know.
I think no, you're fine. Longbow, I think is 360 for the start. So yeah, you're fine.
Doesn't say.
Because in a short bow, I think it's 90, 120.
Short bow's 8320.
8320. So
Come on, please be a natural 20. It's a natural 1. I'm gonna get
hurting the innocents.
150. Yeah. So this is like right on the cusp of your range. And as you pull back, there are people running for cover. Billy is like right there and kind of almost directly in front of this person. And so biasing your shot, it kind of hits right next to their feet and skips up and into the crowd.
Oh, Basilat's gonna be so fucking mad.
Yeah, you're discharging your firearm into the crowd.
Yikes.
No problem though. That is your turn, Faye. Anything else?
I guess I'm going to. No, I want to stay there and use
There
my
you
last
go.
arrow. And I'm gonna
Ori,
shoot him.
you are up.
I don't see the one running away from where I am, do I?
No, you just see the ones kind of beginning to run
Down below.
towards you, but below.
All right. I'm going to steady aim and fire at the one that's closest right here to Alina.
Okay, no problem. Make your attack roll.
Oh, I guess I'm not going to steady aim because I have advantage because I'm shooting from above again.
There you go. You're welcome to steady aim if you want that.
No,
Okay.
because that doesn't do anything. I'm going to save my bonus action.
I pointed it out once after you'd already done it twice.
Yeah,
but
I recognized it this time.
Rule
Third
threes.
time's the charm. This is going to be 17 to hit.
17 hits.
And sneaky.
This guy is like, the three of them are trying to run away. He turns to this guy to like pull and help him because he's limping along, and this arrow just like eviscerates him. He like is like oh, and turns and goes to try to like open the door himself.
13 points.
13
piercing damage.
And so he has to take this guy's severed arm, which is holding the door handle, and kind of like pull it away. And you just hear him go, oh! And as he's about to grab it himself, your shot hits him right in the chest. And he is just unconscious on the ground. There is one person left. They are unhurt. But that is your turn, or anything else?
Bonus action, I'm going to dash. Is there a way that I can dash closer to down there without having to go? Because I don't have an Archlight to get through.
I mean, you've
Like,
seen two of your companions
Without just
jump
jumping
over, so-
down?
and they've been fine.
I don't have that stuff, though. Can I use my bonus action to begin my descent?
Yeah. You want to just kind of climb over the edge?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, is that like an athletics or an
It's an athletics or acrobatics check at disadvantage, as this is a bonus action and not an action.
All right. Take some chances here.
Whether you want to or not, you're going over the edge.
All right, that's not terrible. 16.
Okay, you barely do not fall.
Nice.
You kind of grab on and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna like slide down and it's slick and you almost fall completely down. You grab on at the last second and grab one of these elements of like wood that has been fashioned in and you barely hang on. But you begin your descent.
Nice.
That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the final bandit running away. They take an additional so they're like almost at the very peak, and you recognize, Billy, having cast Eldritch Blast a number of times, you probably have one shot if you want to take it on your turn.
You only get one shot.
Faye, from your vantage point, you probably will also have one shot. But this individual just on the cusp of escaping. So that is the up bandits. That brings us to Petal, followed by Minka.
All right. Can Petal take the help action on her turn?
Yeah.
And then, okay, so she's going to use the help action, and what she's going to do, she's going to get in the guy's face and be like, blah, blah. Like, you're trying to focus, but you can't. I'm Petal. I'm over here.
So Minka, from where you are, looking over the edge, you suddenly see Petal like fly right up, and they just begin grabbing at like the lips, the nose, the eyelid of this person.
She's everywhere.
And they're like trying to swat at them, and you just say, just like really the worst mosquito. But no problem. They are helping.
Okay.
That is Petal's turn. That brings
Petal's
us to Minka. Minka, you watch as this sprite helps. What would you like to do?
Oh, Petal, look out! Guiding bolt.
Okay. Look out! This huge bolt of brilliant energy streaks down. Make your attack roll.
19.
19 hits. Roll for damage. They were unhurt.
So many
I know.
dice.
That's a lot.
That also sounds so good.
Yeah,
It's so good.
It's
so
really
nice.
satisfying.
18 points of damage.
So again, just barely they're alive. That hits them, and the like refuse, the broken elements of like arrows and things are just blown away from them. They stagger to the ground and just reaching for the doorknob that nobody has been able to grab yet. But anything else, Minka?
No.
Seeing what's going on, she's gonna stay. And like she's like staring at Ori as he's trying to go down. She's like, okay, you have one chance at this.
What do you mean? Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna just not move so I can make sure I can see everyone.
It is the bandits on the bottom's turn. The bandit on the bottom. He, reaching up, his goes and grabs the handle, and it locks from the inside. I rolled for it. I gave him a 50-50 shot. And it just won't budge. And you see his both hands on there. He pulls his head into it and he just starts crying. But that is his turn.
Yeah, no.
But now we're gonna have to interrogate him.
That brings us to Alina. What would you like to do?
Is there such thing as a non-lethal Eldritch Blast?
You would have, well, you could try.
Eldritch Bonk.
Does he how hurt does this guy seem?
Again, kind of hard to tell from this distance. They're no longer. Oh no, they are glowing bright. Oh wait, where are you?
I'm down here.
Oh yeah, no problem. Bad, real bad.
And there's just one guy left, right?
Yeah, so Petal is right now like pulling both of his eyelids back, and so you can see like the top of his eyeballs.
All right.
He's also like glowing. Yeah.
You would have also provoked an attack of opportunity when he moved to the door.
That is also true.
That's true. I'm gonna try to hit him with my horns.
Okay.
Non-lethally.
Good ad.
9 to hit.
That is a miss.
That's the attack of opportunity. All right, and then so on my turn, I'm gonna. I think I don't have a lot of confidence that I can do a non-lethal Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
But I would like to try to knock him out, so I'm gonna hit him with my horns again, using the ram action.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
16 to hit.
16 just hits. Meets it, beats it.
Nice.
Excellent. Oh no, sorry, that was
Whatever
18. It was
after
plus one,
you
not
hit
minus one.
whatever. Yeah, no, it's fine. Never mind. One of them would have been at
This would be at
technically.
advantage, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if you want,
Oh no!
to try
So
to,
no.
the first one
The
would have
attack
been
of
an
opportunity would have been an advantage. Yeah,
So that would have been a 12.
would have messed up.
Yeah, okay.
So
So this one hits though, and so I'm gonna do 3 points of non-lethal horn damage.
tell us how it happens, Alina. That's exactly what you
Alina
need.
just goes like
Bonk.
like across the guy's head, and he crumples to the ground, and then she high fives Petal.
No problem. So in this moment, as he is like pulling on the door handle, and you just hear as he's like trying frantically, Petal's pulling his eyelids back. You just like reach forward and bonk, headbutt him straight in the face, and he spirals down to the ground unconscious. And all of you have survived this ambush.
What about the guy
Yeah, they're
running
still
away?
on run.
Oh yeah,
I got
Oh.
you said they each had one shot. You said they each had one shot.
Are you going to take an Eldritch Blast shot through the crowd?
Can I get within 30 feet of him without taking a dash action?
At a disadvantage, make an acrobatics or athletics check, and this is either to like haul yourself up on
Parkour
something,
over people's heads.
or to like get acrobatically into a place where you can take a shot from an
like
elevated
Legolas
position.
jumping on the orcs' heads.
Basically, yeah.
Acrobatics?
Sure.
Disadvantage 19.
Disadvantage 19.
Look
at you.
So you're running, and the crowd is getting thicker and thicker, and you're like just beginning to not be able to push through. And at this moment, you hear this, and you turn and look. There's a bugbear that has just put down like 4 crates, 2 of them, and then like 2 more. And so you step on the first set, step on the second, and leaping up. In this moment, as you are like suspended above, make your Eldritch Blast attack.
So I'm within 30 feet of him now, right?
You are not.
No, okay,
This is
that was the
certainly
question.
a disadvantage. Yes, this
Okay.
is across like 3 streets. There are like crowds between. There is like stuff hanging down. There are lanterns. This is a hard shot.
Okay. So disadvantage again for Eldritch Blast.
Yes, this is disadvantage, and they have full cover
So wait, what was the other check for?
to see if you can get up to an elevated position and get this shot without shooting through the crowd.
Fair.
So unless you roll double natural ones.
Nah, but I did roll a 3 for a 6.
Okay. Even
No,
from
an
this
8,
moment,
but still.
you're like jumping up in the air, action shot, and there is just this bugbear just goes and like cracks his back and like gets right in front of you, and you have to pull back. Can't even fire off the blast. But Faye, you watch as this individual like zigs and zags, and they are like probably about 200 feet away from you. This would be at disadvantage, and you are shooting into the crowd, but you can try if you want.
Spice, lol. Feywind is going to draw back her bow with the last magical arrow that she has and whisper Eminem's yourself lyrics.
Spaghetti!
Like that one shot, one opportunity. But in her southern accent. And then she's going to release into the crowd.
Okay, make an attack at disadvantage.
No, never mind.
Well, damn. It was a
Is that
14, 15 to hit.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it would have been a natural 20 on the...
Billy, you land. Oh, that sucks. You land. If they were 40 feet closer, you would have had a natural 20. You land. And as you do, you look up and you can see like people running out of the way. And you see this arrow and almost strike this individual. As they like round a corner, this hits them and passes through the edges of their cloak. And
If it was
You
a
can
seeking
see-
arrow... No.
if it's a seeking arrow, it's different. They would make a save.
Yeah, that would be a seeking arrow, but it says... But
Technically, I read this earlier. The
Arcane?
seeking arrow is the one that you need to call ahead of time. The other one is the one that you can do. But what I would say is if you want instead, you could use a seeking arrow. You would know that. And you could
Yes.
have them try to save again. That being said, it's a pretty easy save to save again. So it's not like it's a huge change.
Well, yeah, I want it. It's
Better
my
than
last
nothing,
arrow.
right?
It's my one
So
shot.
this final
You
arrow
only get
is
one
huge.
shot, one opportunity.
It's this one shot, and you can see it's going to go wide.
Mom, spaghetti.
And you're like, no spaghetti. And you like concentrate with every focus of will, and they are going to make a save here.
Okay.
Wow. What is the DC on the save? It's an 8. So at the very, very last moment, as they're about to turn away, it's almost like this arrow that's about to move. And Billy, you can see this perfectly. It's about to move and then just like turns ever so slightly and strikes them. Instead of in this cloak and pinning an element of the fabric, it gets straight through their calf. Go ahead and roll damage for that.
Okay.
Nice.
11 points of damage.
And we know its location.
Yes.
It's pretty easy because that is all that you need to take them unconscious. And so rather than escaping and vanishing into the crowd, you now have a making death saving throws. Unconscious kind of figure. You have one that is non-lethally hurt from Alina.
The ball.
But at this moment, you are all out of initiative.
Nice shot.
Well done.
She like salutes to no one who's around her.
The crowd is still
Goes wild.
The crowd is like now like pulling themselves back up to their feet from your shot.
I saved y'all down there. You
People are like screaming as you point. People go, "They're gonna shoot at me!" And they're like running even further.
No, I saved you.
People are freaking out right now.
God damn it.
But no problem. As it is 10:11, this is where we're going to end for this evening. Nice. And when we begin next week, we'll see what you can do with the individuals who are not dead.
Nice.
But wonderful work. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. We'll see all of you next week, but if you can't wait that long, on Thursday, you can join us for Mosaic Team 5, Session 41. But please stay safe. We'll see you later. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.